right, hello. Welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We are back tonight. We're playing some more Han Cluster. We're continuing our Reunification Jumpstart playthrough. We're in episode 2, and we'll see if it's 2 of 2 or 2 of 3. Who knows? And I want to do a special call out to Ashley. Ashley, you have put some makeup on. You really you went ahead and you kind of went the extra mile.
Embody a bird as Birdie Miller,
Absolutely. And as we establish precedent last week, because you went above and beyond, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give an extra Benny to Long because his work last week clearly set a bar that you are now trying to reach. So good job, Long. Go ahead and take an extra one. So I'll go ahead and give you one over here.
Didn't Steven say he was going to dress up this week too?
He is. He's dressed
I'm wearing blue. This is my ghost.
It's actually a Sunny Delight shirt. That's what it is.
Since we're ex-bonded, I'm going to give that Benny to Birdie Miller.
Yeah, she's got
I start out with one. So you're good.
No, you're fine. I was amazing. So you're up to 5 now, Birdie. Man, you start with as many as I do. That's great. Steven, you start with 4? What's that about? How do you get 4?
Well, I'm just special, really. I think I'm supposed to start with 3. I'll double check.
That's weird.
But I'll take the 4. I'm not going to argue.
I have in my notes that you're not allowed to have any. So
that was said. Those words were said.
That was... I've made some mistakes with bennies, but I'm better now, and I'm going to be more responsible, and it's all fine. So I can have 4.
Excellent. So if you're just tuning in for the first time, if you're just watching this and you didn't watch the first episode, Han Cluster is a new space sci-fi game using the Savage World system. It's coming to backer kit in March, I think. And yeah, we're doing a little bit of a preview, playing through an adventure or 2, and we'll see how it goes. So any questions, any lingering questions, concerns, confusions about the changes between other Savage Worlds versions and Han Cluster? Anything that kind of gave us a hiccup last time?
No, I feel pretty good.
I think we talked through kind of the physical and ghosted and all capped and all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's the big thing, right? Like there's sort of 3 tiers of a person or a target, right? There's capped, which is when your physical self and your ghost are joined together, right? And so right now, Reese would be capped because Reese is on the Old Hope, your ship, and he is physically there, but he hasn't ghosted anywhere else. Then there's ghosted, right? Which is where you have left your body and you have ghost traveled somewhere else to somebody else that you're ex-bonded with. So in this case, Ray and Dr. Sonnet down on the moon, Onyx. You are both ghosted. So you're just in like your kind of blue semi-corporeal form. And then there's ghostless, and ghostless is essentially an object or an animal in some cases that just doesn't actually have any kind of ghost to it. And so like where you are at with those 3 things might actually have some penalties and some interaction penalties depending on how that works. So when they pop up, we'll call them out. But those are the big things. We also talked, one of the other things I did is I added to Foundry, I updated some of your X gear to make sure that you can see strain. I wanted to mention strain really fast. So there is another little stat, like substat with X gear. It's called strain. Strain is basically a way to kind of limit or at least keep track of how much X gear you can basically use. Essentially, X gear is like gear that's specifically, as we said, like kind of involving kind of the next technology, right? And you can wear or use comfortably a number of items that equal a strain, like half of your spirit. So if your spirit's like a D8, then that means you can like have 4 strain without any problems. You can go above it, but then there's some potential penalties and drawbacks and such. The maximum you can ever do is like equal to that number of your spirit die. So those are things that might pop up. I don't think it's going to affect us here, but it's just something to keep an eye on as we progress through it. Okay.
This is my first time playing Savage World, so as far as I'm concerned, this is the default setting. Like this is how you're supposed to play.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. What have I done? I've done Holler. I mentioned that a few times. Same Tracy Seismo, who does Han Cluster here. One of the I'm not sure what the title is. One of the sort of the designers, leads, whatever term they use of Holler, which I love. That is that's kind of like an Appalachian horror Done a little Deadlands as well. And I think I did like a couple sessions of riffs. I don't think I've ever really done like a ton of riffs. I think I maybe did like maybe 2 or 3 sessions over on DOK. That's about it. So, okay.
Color was fun. Deadlands was super fun. And I died.
Yeah. Way to spoil it. Super tragic. You and Chuck died in vastly different ways. His was just like, oh, that was freaking sweet. And Melissa, it was just like, oh, I want to cry now. Like, and within a few minutes of each other. It was pretty great. It was pretty good. Yeah. A lot of fun.
It was epic.
Yeah. Okay. Well, enough about that. Why don't we go ahead and let's get started. So, quick summary of what happened last time. We decided in our kind of warm-up questions that you had finished up a aid drop to some Earth refugees that was on the planet Tract out in the Han cluster. And your ship is named the Old Hope, and you were taking a well-earned vacation. So that meant you all were like scattering and splitting up and going in different places. Birdie and Arushi, you won tickets to a tour of the Hope Expedition Museum in orbit above Edenic. And I think it was because you won a dance contest or something.
Yes, I did.
Yep. Ray, you headed to Onyx to visit your niece Mandy, whose birthday was looming. So you were we caught you in transit on a public cluster bus. And then Reese and Dr. Sonnet, you were still aboard the Old Hope, and you were in transit between Edenic and Onyx, getting ready to essentially make port at the Lutz Hub space station is where you were headed. And that is near the planet of Nebuchadnezzar, which is like where one of the Draxel relays is. Draxel is like a form of communication, basically, one of these big system-wide forms of communication. So just to kind of go through it, Birdie and Arushi, you were going up a space elevator. You met some people. You befriended, I think it was Birdie befriended the tour guide, Isabel. And you had overheard at some point that Edenic security forces were kind of getting rerouted for drills, which was kind of peculiar, but like not alarming in itself. Then we checked in with Ray, who was talking with Mandy on a Draxel call, who was very disappointed that Birdie didn't arrive. The call was cut short, and a bunch of alarms and global emergency messages started to repeat in the back. Mandy was like at an arcade because her parents had ditched her to go buy her presents last minute because they forgot about her birthday. Then on the Old Hope, Reese and Dr. Sonnet, you got bombarded with a repeating military message that was saying that any vessels that were approaching the station, Nebuchadnezzar or the Drax relay would be considered an enemy act. And so you were told to get the hell out of there. And then after a little bit of like searching, you found a second message like underneath the broadband message. And it was a man identifying himself as Corporal Handy, who was telling you a story that he was apparently him and his crew were part of a service shuttle for a kind of a larger ship. And they were taken a captive and their ship was destroyed. And so they were basically calling for help. And he also warned that he thinks that like something's going on, something weird's happening. The Edenic military forces might be getting some bad orders, etc. You all have an X-bomb, which means you're able to basically telepathically essentially communicate with one another. And you started to kind of ghost travel. That's sort of the mechanic of this setting. Like you can literally send your ghost to accompany somebody else that you're X-bonded to. And that's what you all started doing. And Birdie and Arushi, you eventually you took some seats inside of the Thora, which is the name of like the colony ship that this museum that you were going to is in. You took seats in a theater inside of there to kind of travel away. Ray, you tucked yourself into a very cramped cabin on your cluster bus. Dr. Sonnet, you just leaned back in your cockpit chair. And Reese, you just stayed in your body. Ree, you went down to Onyx to protect your niece because you actually have an X-bond with her. Very increasingly chaotic situation. Population was panicking, rioting, all sorts of stuff happening. Various messages were kind of being blasted on the streets and in various other places. While you were trying to figure out what's going on with those messages on the Old Hope, your sensors and communications malfunctioned. So eventually, Arushi and Birdie traveled over there to help Reese in repairs. Dr. Sonnet, you joined Ray, and then these opportunistic looters that kind of descended on Manny to steal some of her things, like her bag. And so the two of you beat the crap out of them. And mostly Ray beat the crap out of them. And then you started looking for a way to get Mandy to safety. But panicking was continuing. Citizens were shouting. There's an imminent Earth invasion, apparently. Repairs on the Old Hope weren't going really well at first, as someone who shall remain nameless got a very critical fail. But fortunately, you are able to sort through it, sensors came back on, and right as they were coming back in, there was this little radar echo, this little blip that you got that showed like a stealth chip near the Draxel relay, and it was in the same relative location as the origin of Corporal Handy's message, the military message, all the messages that you've been receiving. And like you kind of think you've got a locator on the origin of that. And so that is what happened last time. Let's dive in. Okay. We start up, screen opens up, and we see the chaotic scene down on Onyx. We can see that there are kind of people who are like fighting over various transport pods and such, trying to move around. There are people who are trying to like come down from their homes and get into some of their transports and get away, and then immediately kind of getting jumped in like their cars, or the equivalent of getting stolen. You can see that there are some Edenic security forces and such that are moving with purpose and kind of ignoring some of the rioting, and you see they're kind of traveling to different places. And amongst it all, we see Ray and Dr. Sonnet in their ghosted form, with Mandy, who is Cap physical, that are kind of navigating through all of this. We see you peek out from the shattered glass wall of Overclock, the arcade where she was at. And your goal is to get her back. So we're going to treat this like a quick encounter. As you're looking out, you're seeing people coming and going. So just the two of you described for me, her home, her apartment's not that far away. It's not like she's allowed to travel wherever she is. So like she's relatively close. But there is some danger on the streets, and people are being very opportunistic, very violent. People are panicking. You can still see up on the screens on some of these larger buildings, these images kind of flashing Earth invasion. You can hear the sounds of people freaking out, people coming down with like their things trying to escape. So the way a quick encounter just basically works, both of you tell me, what's your basic plan to get her to safety, and then each of you rolls a skill roll to a trait roll to get her there. So what's your plan?
I think Dr. Sonnet would kind of defer to Ray, because Ray would know the area better, being her family. So I think he would kind of take her cue.
So what Ray is actually going to do, so you see Ray, is kind of given Mandy kind of a big hug, and, is kind of like holding her, kind of crouched down a little bit. But I have a power called protection. And so what that does is it creates a field of energy or armor around a character, giving them 2 points of armor. So that's kind of what I would like to do, is kind of spend the power point and try to get this sort of like glowing field around Mandy as we're kind of venturing out into the street.
Okay. So you're gonna do protection. So you're gonna tap into that. You're gonna create this field. That's good. As you try to move through the streets, and like, I'm not saying that there's gunshots left and right, but there's definitely people shoving. You hear the sounds of like a screeching vehicle. So there's definitely dangers on the street. Okay, how'd you do?
Okay, it was a regular success, no raise. So that'll basically give the 2 points of armor.
Okay, so what does it look like as you kind of reach out and you put this aura over top of Mandy?
So I'm imagining, Ray currently is ghosted. So you see this sort of the true blue of, kind of the ghost. And then as she's hugging Mandy, you sort of see sort of this expansion of the blue. And then so like, while you can tell that Mandy is still capped, she gets this sort of faint blue glow that just sort of goes all around her form.
And like, no sooner has that aura come around her that you hear the sounds of fighting and shouting, and then all of a sudden you see a man get hurled through a window coming from inside to the outside of some sort of small local kind of convenience store, and he comes falling down onto the street, and you see the glass kind of goes flying, and a couple shards just like harmlessly reflect off of the aura that you just put over top of her. Dr. Sonnet, how are you contributing?
I think seeing the chaos, people are falling out of windows in front of us. Dr. Sonnet is a bit agoraphobic as well. I think he would try to figure out the best route that would be not on the main streets, through back alleys, even like through A lot of times stores have like interconnected hallways between buildings that you can take. Something that's a bit more protected and less visible. Hopefully using something like common knowledge, I would think.
I would say common knowledge. Common knowledge would be fine. I mean, even notice could potentially work too. But common knowledge, I think, would work, especially if you're like, if you've been here before. Like if you're, I'm not sure if you're.
They're both the same for me.
Onyxian.
So let's go common knowledge and see how it goes.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Go right ahead. There we go. I see an explosion.
Oh, yeah. My
Hey.
first explosion in Savage Worlds.
There
All
you
right.
go.
That's an 11. So that's a raise.
Okay. That is a raise. So what we'll say is you do so well on that. You pull up. I'm not sure. Do you have like an X pad or anything like an X data pad or anything?
I believe I have a data pad. Yes.
Let's say then that you're able to like, there's various kiosks probably out in the streets, and as like Ray is protecting and you're kind of getting down, you take a look quickly, and with your scientific mind, you're medic, you're trained in kind of quick analytical thinking, and you just sort of track where's the best path forward. You see like the directions that it looks like any kind of Edenic military forces or security forces are going. And then you can kind of see how there are people who are just kind of scattering wildly, and you just kind of route this path. You go through one of these kind of taller, kind of glass spired buildings and kind of shift through the lobby a bit out the back into this alleyway that you can see now is relatively quiet. You can hear the sounds of the chaos like starting to careen into this. And then you just take another path forward, like kind of around a building, quickly go into the lobby, and it's her home. You find a lift, you start trundling up, and by the time you get up to, let's say, like the 20th floor, you hear a ding, the lift doors open, there's like quiet on the floor. And now that you can't actually hear the shouting from below, like there's actually this sudden quiet. You start moving down the hall, and the only sounds you really hear are like the muffled sounds of people listening to like news feeds in through like the doors of her neighbors and such. And it's much of the same that you've heard before. You get inside. So Mandy has her own way of getting inside. So she, scans whatever it is she has to scan. The door locks open. Parents aren't there. But you can definitely tell between like this protective aura, Dr. Sonnet getting you back, that she seems to calm down a bit. And like she quickly flips on, the local feeds for city, and no new information is popping up. Like you just see kind of one of those emergency broadcast signals, right? Futuristic version. Maybe the colors are different. And you can see this ticker on the bottom that's just talking about imminent Earth invasion. It's like directing people to take shelter, to evacuate. It's giving all these different messages about like any ships in orbit make space, be prepared to take on passengers and such. And then she looks back at the two of you. What is going on? What is happening?
Mandy, I just need you to stay here. We've been talking to the rest of our crew, and this might not be what it seems. Okay? This looks really scary, but it might not actually be what's going on. I just need you to stay here, though. And she's gonna like look for like an interior room that doesn't have windows. Okay,
so you put her in a closet. Is really what you do. She's like, "Why are you putting me in a closet? I'm fine. I can just lock the door."
I don't think that something bad is gonna happen, but just in case, just stay here. And
Ray, give me a notice -2. With a -2 penalty. Notice roll with a -2.
Oh gosh.
-2 because you're in a closet right now.
Yeah, you don't realize it's already filled with a giant vacuum. She can't fit.
My smarts is D4. So that's
What's the problem? Nailed it.
wow. I got an ace. 4.
You start to feel like an anxiety start to creep over you, like this it's distant, it's muted. You, as you like go to reach to open the door, like your hand kind of shifts and moves, like without you controlling it. You start to hear like this muffled sounds of voices that occasionally like flicker in and then flicker out. You would guess, and that you think that it's not necessarily here, but something's going on back where you've left your sleeper.
Where my sleeper is. Okay.
So we're going to cut, and then you tell me how you want to handle that later. But we're going to check in with Birdie and Reese and Arushi. You all have just discovered the sensory blip. You finally got your various systems up. You for a little while, you were down eyes, you were down ears, and you were even down to some degree control. But you've managed to splice things together. You notice that there's not a ton of ships around. Looks like all of them have been kind of redirected, except for that one blip. What are the three of you doing? As we see Reese again, he's in the pilot seat. He's got his physical form. Birdie and Arushi, various other seats, and are kind of ripping through some of the consoles and kind of checking data, checking systems. What do you three want to do?
Well done, Gru. Systems are back online. Looks like you caught a blip.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Reese.
That ship recloaked again, and I'm not sure if it's military or not. I can't confirm, but that broadcast that you were talking about, he said they were taken aboard a different ship. Maybe that's where they're at, Captain Handy.
It is near the Drexel relay, and
Either
that message.
way, I think our heart is cut a little short. We need to figure out the quickest way to get back to the ship. Birdie.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been that long, so I doubt the tour's over. So I think we still have time.
So, Reese, I don't know if maybe you can get the ship down there in the time, because we probably can't get out of the museum for a couple hours anyway.
I can get us closer.
He's days away from you guys.
Oh, he's days away.
Yeah, he's nowhere close to you.
Okay.
I can
What
get
do
us
we?
towards the Drexel replay, but this might be a lethal action according to the military.
Yeah.
Well, this might not even be military, but it could still be lethal either way. How do you want to approach?
Very carefully, and I'll drive you through.
Okay. If you want to approach the where you saw that ship, it's a piloting roll. It's going to be at -2 because it is like you're still struggling to kind of get like a steady lock on it, but because you've seen where it's at and because you can kind of cross-reference the fact that Corporal Handy's message and some other things were kind of coming from it, like you kind of have a general idea of it, but you know your ship is still sort of a little busted. But give us a piloting roll at -2, Reese.
Okay, I have an 8 piloting, so let's roll it.
Oh,
it's
this
gonna
guy!
explode on the D8.
This
Nice.
guy!
Yay.
I got a 7.
Okay, that's a 7. So 7 isn't a raise, but it's definitely a success. As you are approaching, like you're pretty sure that you've approached from an angle, Reese, that you don't think you've been discovered. No one's fired on you, right? So as you're kind of getting closer, you're getting some additional information as you kind of start, assuming Arushi or Birdie are kind of scanning and scanning and scanning. But what you discover is that it's not a military vessel, Birdie, because you had mentioned it.
Uh-huh.
But it's some sort of private class. It's sleek. Like you can definitely tell like what's coming off of it. It's got some kind of stealth system that is really playing havoc with your sensors. But as Reese gets closer, as Arushi maybe concludes some repairs, suddenly that what was once just a blip now becomes a solid locator, and you know exactly where the ship is. And you've approached it a vector that doesn't seem as though they've identified you yet. Because if they had, they probably would have fired by now. From what you can tell, the ship that you are scanning does in fact have autocannons So if they noticed you, they probably could have started firing by now, but they haven't yet. So what would you like to do?
Can I make an electronics roll to figure how to get our stealth up?
You don't have a stealth system.
We don't have a stealth system.
No.
Are they?
Oh, right. You posted the ship stats. Sorry.
Are they connected to the relay? The Drexel relay? Like, have they attached?
They are not. No. And like the relay isn't like a station. So. Like,
Okay.
It's like it's a giant. Like think of it like a giant like massive satellite, right? So it's not in and of itself a station.
Because Birdie's trying to like determine like how could this potentially be interrupting the relay and like preventing communication.
Well, if you would like to make a roll,
Yes, please.
common knowledge, electronics, I think those are probably decent to.
Can I support on electronics?
Sure, I think.
Yeah, because I don't have common knowledge, but I do have electronics.
Because it's probably a conversation, right? You're trying like, what the hell's the two of you are trying to kind of figure this out. Yeah, absolutely.
Do I just roll and then it's
you basically
roll your relevant skill.
basically just tell me how you're doing it, and then you roll a relevant skill. So you can do it with electronics, or you can do it different. It doesn't have to be electronics.
I think it's electronics. I don't think it's more complex than that. I think it's exactly what you said, Jeff. It's just noodling shit out.
So then go ahead and roll your electronics, and depending on how you do, that's going to affect Birdie's bonus on her roll.
Okay. 4.
4 is a success. Okay. Okay. So if you're satisfied with that, it's a +1 for Birdie from Arushi's assistance.
Let's rip it.
Okay. Here you go.
You good.
6.
All right. That's another pass. Okay. So you two know that Draxel communications are usually extremely secure, and they are not the type of thing that just suddenly goes faulty. And the tech on them is, in some ways, it's still inscrutable, except by like a few, like very few people could pull off such a hack of a Draxel relay station. Possible, but extremely difficult. More than likely, like whoever is on this ship likely is using its proximity to the station itself to try to intercept and disrupt those signals. So there's probably someone on that stealth ship that is an expert in some ways. Could be like a really advanced like Draxel tapper. So you all would know that's like a basically a hacker who's good at like Draxel signals specifically, and maybe even someone like even more knowledgeable, like next architects and things like that. People who just kind of understand some things more. But that could just be. Doesn't have to be that, but definitely somebody with extreme knowledge of Draxel tapping.
Yeah, I think there may be Draxel trapping. And tapping, sorry. What? So how do you want to approach? They are armed. Should we attack first?
Got a good angle on them. We can open fire.
So, some things I would throw out at you. If you destroy the ship, you know that there was a friendly Corporal Handy whose message was coming directly from that ship and said him and his crew were taken captive. So you risk potentially killing them if you try to destroy the ship. However, you could do that. There's nothing wrong. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just letting you know that is a thing. And you did send a sort of a message back that you think might have gotten back to him, that you're sort of coming to help. And then the other thing is because you managed to approach so effectively, and your piloting roll was so good, Reese, you would essentially get the drop on any like attempt that you want. Like if you really wanted to engage in combat with them, you certainly could. And you would get the drop on them. Or if you wanted to try to board the ship.
That's what I was going to ask.
Breaching clamps, you would certainly have that type of stuff on board.
Yeah, I was going to go with the second option after your explanation. So I'll see if we can just breach them.
Okay. So you piloting rolls had already been made. You The ship isn't the ship is not like, it doesn't have active engines. It's moving, but it's not actively using its engines, staying in kind of close proximity to the Draxel relay. And so you, as carefully as you can, with this alacrity, to try to get in there before the scans. Like, they're going to notice at some point, but you are trying to do this fast so that they don't notice yet. And I'll say that you probably have some breaching clamps in your engineering bay. You align your ship. You kind of send out whatever kind of umbilical that connects the ships to each other. And now you're going to try to breach clamp it. Okay, who wants to kind of operate that? Birdie, do you want to do it?
What would that be?
Or Rushi could do it too. I
skill wise,
that because my shred slipped away.
It
would be. I would take anything like electronics repair, anything like that would be fine.
Decent electronics and repair. I caught the tail end of the conversation. Does the breaching package on the ship equipment, does that come into play at all?
Yeah, you're good. Like you would have what you need to.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not something that you would have to jury rig or anything.
Awesome.
And not only that, but you get a +4 on your attempts to do this because of the excellent piloting by Reese.
Nice.
Amazing.
I
have a decent repair and electronics, so I'm happy to make the roll.
Okay, absolutely.
Would you take a repair?
Yeah, repair's fine. Yeah, that was one of the ones I was fine with. Figure if you know how to repair something, you probably know how to break something. Right? Repairing's the hardest.
My tray. You're gonna roll better this week than you did last week.
God,
you can dodge a wrench. You can dodge.
I think it's more entertaining if you critically fail this.
Okay, well, I've been critically failing for the last 7 months.
Sending positive thoughts.
I'm really tired of things not working out. +4 is what you said, Jeff. Is that
+4,
right?
yeah, +4 from the drop. You're basically getting the drop bonus from this.
Great.
Okay, 16.
16.
Wow.
That's
Not
very
a crit
good.
Well, you manifested this free.
Okay, so I'm gonna kind of carry this over in the sense of the raise. I'm gonna say the effect of the raise is that they still haven't picked up on it. Like, you managed to get your clamps in, but right as you're about to kind of blow their airlock door open, you notice that you could potentially, before doing this, essentially sever any kind of automated alarm system, which might again delay their discovery of you. And so I'm going to say that's exactly probably what you do. And then you punch it and the door explodes open and you see it kind of rattles, smashes against the wall a bit. And you see in front of you, the sleek, metallic kind of plasteel kind of corridors in front of you. It doesn't look like anyone's waiting for you. But it's just a matter of time before you're discovered. So, do you all board the ship?
All right, gang, gear up. I'm putting on a bodysuit. And then...
Okay, so
Reese is wearing clothing?
20 minutes for Reese to put his clothes on.
Oh, no.
Send a message to Dr. Sonnet and Ray that we're breaching a rogue ship.
Okay. So as the three of you get ready to board, you send the message. We cut back. Dr. Sonnet, you get that message from Reese in your, in the back of your mind, your X-Spawn connecting you. You look over at Ray, she's looking at her hand kind of curiously, and she has kind of this faraway look on her eyes. What do you two do?
Well, Mandy, I'm sorry it's been a bad birthday. I gave Ray the gift. She'll bring it to you when you get to have your party. Gotta go. And I would pop back to the old
Thanks,
hope.
Sonny. And then you don't hear the D. Okay. All right. So Dr. Sonnet manifests right next to Reese as Reese is putting his pants on. Boom. Done. Because you're in your
Yep,
ship.
yep.
Yeah, because you're back in
Reese,
your
turn
your
around
body now. You snap back, I think is the term. Okay. Ray, you get a very distinct impression that there's something going on your transport ship. But at the same time, you just heard from Reese and you just saw Dr. Sonnet snap back. What does Ray do?
So
Sophie's
Ray,
choice.
so we kind of gotten Mandy in a little bit of a safe place. Mandy, I'm like really sorry that this is how everything happened today.
It's okay. It's okay. You were awesome.
Well, thank you. Most of the gifts that I brought for you, they're back with my sleeper. But you should real soon be getting something from Arushi. And Arushi had gifted a X gear, so it'll kind of pop into her Draxel. And it's this like engraved multi-tool. Mm-hmm. That's going to be like an X gear that Mandy will have. Okay.
Not going to data pad, you mean? Draxel's down.
So when everything comes back up, you should get your gift from Arushi. Okay?
Okay. I mean, if things don't go really, really bad, but it's okay. I know you have I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine.
You're gonna be
Mom
fine.
and Dad will be home soon.
Yes. Yes. And we're gonna do your birthday again. I promise.
And you just hear the chaos going on around is getting louder, and it's almost becoming more difficult to kind of carry on without that distraction. It's okay. Right. Go. It's fine. Go.
Give me a hug. I love you.
She comes over. She gives you a hug. Said, "Love you too." And then where do you go, Ray?
Ray is first going to snap back to her sleeper because she does want to gather some intel about what's going on there to be able to bring that intel back to everyone else when she goes to them.
When you get back to your body, there is panic going on in this ship. You hear people shouting like from just outside of your little cubby, where again you shared this very tight quarter with like a couple other people. You're the only one in here right now, but you can hear shouting and voices, and you can hear like people scuffling, things like things kind of being broken, and it's basically like you hear this, "Let us in, let us know what's going on, I got the and people are just yelling this kind of stuff. What do you do?
Ray wants to can she move about a bit, try to see what kind of reconnaissance she can gather?
You can open the door is sort of what you can do. And when you open the door, you can see that you look into kind of there's a public, like the public area where like people would, eat or whatever. And then you can see at the far end of it, there's the corridor that goes towards the bridge. It goes towards, and like there's a crowd of people around it that are smashing against it. You can see that there's like two what looks like crew members that are on the ground and like almost like they're captive, and they're just kind of in the corner looking up, and there's like these people that are standing over top of them, just regular passengers that are kind of just looking down at them. No one's like killed or anything, but you can definitely tell that they're like, you're in the corner now, and they're calling out into the like they're trying to call on like the captain, and you would have gotten her name, Captain Tyrell, to like open up, let us know what's going on, why, what is happening. And like everyone's just shouting this over and over again, and you can tell it's definitely frightened people. It doesn't look like you've been boarded or anything like that or hijacked. It's just people who are frightened, and the captain is just not communicating with them,
not responding. Is there any way to look outside, windows or anything like that, then that Ray can try to get?
You could, but you're in space, so unless something is extremely close to you, you probably wouldn't even see it.
Okay, and that's kind of what I wanted to see, if there was something that's like right here. Ray wants to kind of see if she can find one of the crew and see if she can just sort of like kind of shush off one of the folks of like, did they do anything? I just want to talk to one of them. Just step back.
Okay. You step up towards one of these people who are kind of like standing guard. None of them have weapons or anything like that, but they're just sort of like looming over what is probably just a technician, just some basic tech. And they look a little nervous as they're looking up at you, and they're looking up at the person that's guarding over them. The tech is just like, they're crazy. They're crazy. And then the person that you're talking to is just like, your captain's crazy. Let us know what's happening. Why can't we get any comms? You need to roll a persuasion at -4 if you want to try to calm down the situation here, Ray.
Okay. Yep. I don't have any powers that would help with this. So persuasion at a -4. I got this. I don't got this. That's a 1. Guys, everybody just
Benny.
chill. Yeah, I'll Benny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just chill. Oops, I did a free roll. Sorry, I will spend the Benny.
Yeah, just really you rolled a 1 again. Would you like to spend another
I did roll a 1 again. No, it's a -4, and I don't. Yes, why not?
Okay.
Come on.
There we go. I see an explosion. Okay.
7.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, yes.
There we go.
That's a good
Everybody,
Benny
yeah.
spend. That's a good Benny
Down.
spend.
Yelling at each other isn't going to get answers. We've got to talk to each other.
God damn it.
It was breaking me earlier. I couldn't help
I
it.
know, right? It's just.
Can I give Mel my extra Benny for her voice? Because I
No.
love it. Damn it.
No. Okay. So the person who's just sort of standing guard while a group of them are like trying to bang down the door. You can see one person has a panel open by the door that are trying to like short it or something like that to see if they can open the door. They turn to you. We didn't hurt him. We're not going to hurt anybody, but we want to know what's going on. We got some strange message. Then the Draxel comms went down. Some sort of emergency broadcast system, and then the captain won't tell us anything. Won't say anything to us. Won't tell us what signals they're getting. Won't even respond when we call through the door. We're in the dark. We're just floating around in a giant box in space while our loved ones could be out there. There could be a war going on. Wait, what is happening? You can't just sit in there and pretend that we don't exist.
I hear you. I do. But all of this threatening isn't going to make her feel safe to open the door and talk to you. There's something that's going on. It's not what it seems.
We knocked first. We asked politely first. We didn't just jump to this. This is her. I don't know where you've been for the past half an hour, but we've been trying to talk to her. And like you can see, they're panicking and they're freaking out. Like it's less like they don't look violent. They just look really, really scared.
I was on Onyx, and Draxel communication is just down. It's just down.
It doesn't go down. That's not how it works. It doesn't go down. All the more reason the captain should open their damn door and talk to us.
All right. And she's going to look to the tech, and she's kind of putting herself with kind of this kind of angry mob person behind her, and then kind of looking down at the tech. Is there anything that you know? Is there anything that the captain may have communicated to you before closing everything down?
And you can see like they look over towards the person you've been talking to, and they're kind of hesitating. You get the sense that they know something, but you get the sense that they're afraid to say it in front of this person.
And
I'm just the messenger. Don't get mad at me.
Ray's going to turn around to kind of the person behind, and she's going to sort of like stand as tall as she can, and she's just going to look back to that person and say, if we want answers, we need to act like people who can handle answers. Please take a step back.
Roll over your success from before, and they will like acquiesce, and they will step back.
And so then Ray will you kind of soften a little bit and turn back down to this tech.
And like they'll kind of almost whisper it to you. We got a message. And we've been getting it repeating. It's from the Global Onyx emergency broadcast system. Onyx is under attack. It's Earth. Some sort of expeditionary force. They came out of hyperspace right behind Kaleidoscope, and they're already beginning to attack. And they sent out their own forces to repel. It's going down. It's all going down. And you can tell they're really panicked. And like they're just summarizing the message. You went down on Onyx. You heard something similar, but you never probably quite got the full gist of it.
Yeah. But Ray did get the update that she's kind of heard through kind of the ex-bonded communication that there's something else going on, that it might not be what it seems.
Okay. All right.
So listen, that is exactly the same thing that I heard down on Onyx, but my crew is on a ship right in the middle of where all of that is supposedly happening, and that's not what's going on. So as much as you and your captain can actually share some information with these people to stop chaos from happening, because something that bad may not actually be going on, but if everybody loses their mind, bad stuff's going to happen anyway.
Okay. I'm going to roll over again your persuasion. I feel like you've earned this already with like your role and how you've kind of handled this. And they said, I can tap into the comms and I can play the message. She's been trying to block the message so no one hears it. She doesn't want them to panic, but then by not giving them
exactly
what she heard,
they're panicking. But if you can just tell them, they can hear it for themselves. They can hear it for themselves, but also tell them, I'm gonna need to go back and join the rest of my crew.
Heck, the last time I tried to talk to them, they hit me with a food tray.
Well, I'm not going to be able to stay here and help with this for much longer. But
and you hear because this conversation is very long, and it's not like all of the mob that has been trying to break down the door has stopped. You have managed to get one person to kind of calm down. Can I just play them? I can play them the message. I can reroute the message from the bridge into here, and then they can at least get answers. They're not going to like what they hear, though.
They're not going to like what they hear, but information fills a vacuum. So you've got to give them the information.
Okay. So they get up and they turn around to one of these panels behind you, and they kind of wrench it down, and then they start kind of rewiring a few things, and then suddenly there's this crackling on the internal comms, and throughout this entire area you hear a message not unlike what you heard at least partial of when you were down on Onyx. And it says, "This is the Global Onyx News Service emergency broadcast system. Onyx is under attack. Repeat, Onyx is under attack. Onyx government officials report that an Earth expeditionary force has emerged from hyperspace on the far side of Onyx's host planet Kaleidoscope. Edenic military forces have already been dispatched to repel the invaders. The government has ordered all ships in the vicinity to participate in the orderly evacuation of Onyx citizens. All ships are ordered to immediately prepare any available passenger space, remain in Onyx orbit, and await further instructions." Ray, give me a common knowledge roll as you hear that. And you also hear the banging stops, and everyone kind of turns and looks up at these various things. And then panic continues, but it's in sort of a different kind of direction now. And people are calling about my kids are down on Onyx. My husband's down on Onyx. And all of this starts to kind of echo about roll your common knowledge.
My concern. It's a 2.
Okay. That is a fail. Would you like to push it?
No.
Push to get to your Benny. Okay. Well then, as panic then continues, we're going to cut back to the boarding crew. And you'll eventually be able to jump in, but not initially, as we see now Dr. Sonnet, Reese, Capt, Birdie, Arushi in their ghosted form. We see this broken open airlock onto this other ship, this stealth ship. And you all are all 4 of you going in?
Absolutely.
I'm going
I'd
in.
have my med kit ready and my pistol on hand.
Okay. All right. So as you all leave your own ship, get into the corridors of this other ship, you aren't again immediately greeted by anything. You don't hear any like comms that are being thrown throughout the ship or anything like that. It's all very quiet. Like everything's extremely quiet. And as you start moving through the ship, let me ask you a question. Where are you hoping to go? You all have a general understanding of how ships are laid out. Like it's not like, the most, the important places, whether it's the bridge, like the cockpit, whatever you want to call it, the engineering bay, you can go to storage, you can go, cargo space, you can go to, main sleeping quarters and stuff like that. Where do you guys want to try to sort of push yourself?
Corporal Handy and his crew is captive on board. We've got to find them. Maybe the crew quarters.
I want to go to comms and maybe the bridge because as you said, one of the things that's really messing with Oshi is that Draxel comms should not be going down. Why is it not working the way it should be working? So she wants to go to the comms and poke around there.
Okay, so you want to go up to the bridge? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Sonnet, Birdie.
Birdie, where do you want to go?
I think our first priority should be finding Captain Handy, but we should also identify this ship. Who is this? What are they doing? Is this Earth or is this some other party trying to create conflict and strife? So she'd probably go with Reese looking for Captain Handy, though.
Okay.
I suppose we're going by the buddy system. So if Arushi's going to the bridge, I'm going with.
Okay. I think Dr. Sonnet, Arushi, finding the bridge is relatively straightforward. I don't think any roll is necessary. Birdie and Reese, you're trying to find like where they might be captive, right? So I'm gonna say we can, one of you give me like a common knowledge roll maybe, or I think that would probably be best if you want to do that, like where on a ship of this, because the ship is not particularly bigger or more robust than your own. It's definitely different.
I don't have common knowledge. So Reese, do you have that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Give me a common knowledge roll. All right.
I have a 4.
Let me know you do. I don't have. You got a what? What'd you get?
Oh, it's exploding.
Oh boy. Well,
Got a
everyone just
6.
sit back, relax. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. I'll say that the two of you, you managed to. We'll say maybe you guys go starboard, then Sonnet and Narushi kind of move up the port side and try to make it to the fore of the ship to see if they can find a bridge or maybe to an upper level. And Birdie and Reese, you check the living quarters, and empty. You can see like there's like a small little kind of kitchenette area, and then it's kind of connected to a series of bunks for short-term stay. It's not unlike your own. It's a little nicer than yours, maybe, but it's not a whole lot different. Like not the most comfortable of quarters. You continue sort of looking around a bit. Maybe if you want, another thing you probably could have done is you could have tapped into the systems, check electronics, and you realize that there are a couple different cargo bays. And when you look into into sort of the basic display of this ship, first you realize the name of it is the Purity. And secondly, you realize that one of its cargo bays has been retrofitted into a brig, like an actual brig. And that's where you two eventually start to move down. You find yourselves sort of descending down one of these like metal stairs, assumingly quietly. I'm rolling over like your drop a little bit here and being a little bit more narrative and loose with it. And what you end up seeing is as you kind of get to the edge of this large double cargo bay door, right? You see it's like currently in its open position, and there are a couple people that are on guard in front of what appears to be like some kind of like alcove where light is kind of flickering, and there are people that are kind of in there, and one of the guards is shouting, it's like, "No more of that! You do that again, I'm gonna blow your head off." Like, okay, you can't. And then the guy like behind, like this sort of like in the cell in the alcove is like, okay, you can't blame a guy for trying. If you screw this up, I will find the nearest airlock and I will vent you out into space. Then we'll see how you can hack into the comm systems then. Like, okay, I get it, buddy. I understand. Okay, no messing around. That's fine. You took my tools. Everything's fine. And so you can see that you hear a familiar voice, Reese, and you think that the guy who's like kind of giving up and holding his hands up while these guards are sort of standing over top. You see in this room, there are, we'll say there's two guards basically that are there, and one of them's doing the talking. Both of them look to be carrying weapons. Both of them are capped too, so they're both physical. Think about what you want to do. Let me introduce what's going on with Dr. Sonnet and Arushi. Arushi and Dr. Sonnet, you two are heading up towards the bridge along the port side of the ship when you hear the sounds of voices up ahead. You kind of climb up one set of stairs and you peek out just in time to see like there's this run that there's like like you go up a set of stairs to like the topmost level of this ship. And then the stairs kind of turn back around towards the front of the ship where you know the bridge is more than likely to be. And as you peek out, you can see, like removed down a short hall, the bridge at some distance. In between you and the bridge, you can see that there are a couple people talking. And you can hear their voices, and they're just sort of asking for updates. And then you see beyond that, there are more people on the bridge. You can't quite make out. But I would allow, if both of you want to do a notice roll, to see if you can kind of overhear what they're saying or get a better assessment of numbers, that kind of thing. And I would say I'm going to roll over your drop stuff, like if you want to take like a +4 in this.
+4?
Yeah.
That gives me a 7 then. Success.
Okay. All right.
8.
All right. You hear there are two people talking, and you hear a name mentioned. I'll say Arushi gets this because of the raise. You hear, "Is Stolly done? How much longer does she need?" The other one's just like, "I don't know. You know how they are. They're so infuriating to talk to. Everything's fine." And then they're like, "What about that ship? First they were here, and then they weren't here, and then they probably left. We said we were gonna blow them up. Like, what kind of ship goes towards a signal that says we're gonna destroy you?" And so they're just kind of doing that back and forth. Dr. Sonnet, I'll say you managed to catch numbers a little bit better. And so you see there's two here, but as you see kind of moving about in the distance, like between their legs, as your head is just sort of like peeking up just from the floor, you can see past them into the bridge. And it looks like there are 3 more different people that are moving about. And that's when you hear Dr. Sonnet like, "Hey, we got an airlock breach!" Like suddenly, as like someone seems to have finally noticed it. And like they get on comms, and Reese and Birdie down in the cargo bay, you hear over, over whatever sort of Draxel comes, one of them kind of puts their head up to the ear, and the class, not that they need to, but they do it anyway because it's stylish. And then they turn to the other one who has been talking to the prisoners. He's like, they said, we got a breach. They said, we got to go check it out. And they turn around and like, they kind of look like, what do you mean a breach? And they're like, that's ship. And then they both get their guns and they're ready to move. You all tell me how you want to handle this. The four of you, you're in different places.
It maybe like it takes too long to do this. Would there be any way to like close the door to the bridge and hack it to like lock it essentially, or would that take too long?
It's not something you can do from the distance you're at from the door to that bridge, but you probably could do it.
Arusha's approach is much more direct. She's looking for something to duck behind and yank Sunny D with her to hide behind, and maybe let people run past,
like a bulkhead or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I almost called myself Sunny D. Damn it! So Dr. Sonnet, Dr. Sonnet's looking around like for a tech panel to try and close down and lock some of these people in place, and then he just gets yanked by Arushi.
Okay. Both of you give me a stealth. And this will be contested with their notice as they're moving past.
I've got great stealth.
That's not the right one.
Bad stealth.
So that's a 5. I'll spend a Benny and try to do better.
Okay.
I did worse.
There's dice flying all over the place on our screen right now.
Gosh,
What's
Mike,
happening?
right? Oh my gosh.
What is going on?
It just never ends.
Dude, how?
Dr. Sonnet just got 3 explosions.
I did better.
Holy crap.
Okay.
Wow.
Sunny D is a shadow.
Arushi just threw me into the garbage bin, so I'm just completely out of sight.
Arushi pulls you down. You find this little cubby, but then you realize as you're there, like they might see you as you hear a pair of boots starting to come back down the way you came. It looks like of the 5 that were up here, 2 have been kind of sent to check in on what happened in that airlock. And they start to move past you. And that's when you realize, Dr. Sonnet, that there's like a panel here, just that is a little loose. And you just kind of peel it back, and the 2 of you slide inside of it if you want, or you can ambush these 2 as they run past. It's up to you.
I'm a healer, not a fighter.
Okay.
I'm a mechanic, not a fighter. So
Okay. This is gonna be interesting in a minute,
looking to get into physical.
Are fighters on Onyx?
So the 2 of them move past, and they start racing back the way that you 2 just came. Birdie and Reese, you can see that the 2 guards that were chastising, which you believe to be Corporal Handy, start to turn back and come in your direction. They haven't noticed you yet, but if you want to try to make sure that stays the same, you're going to have to do a stealth roll yourselves, or you can pick a fight or something else. What do you 2 do?
Let the 2 that split off from us know that we found the crew. And then to Birdie, things are about to get serious. As I strip from my bodysuit and walk out in the open and taunt them. This is where the showers are, mates.
I want this to happen, but stripping out of a spacesuit, is it like...
It's just body armor.
Like taking off a hat.
It's just body armor. I don't know if that...
I thought you had your spacesuit on, you said.
No, just body armor. Spacesuit would have been too much.
Okay, all right. So you just drop your body armor and you step out into the doorway and you try to taunt them?
Yeah.
Okay. Is your hat still on? I have to know for the visual image.
Jesus
of course my hat's on.
Okay, go ahead and roll taunt. Do you have taunt, I hope.
Yeah, I have taunt.
Otherwise, that's kind of awkward. Okay. Go ahead and roll your taunt. Oh my god.
With the +1 for the nakedness?
Smarts. Okay,
I roll 6.
This is resisted by their smarts. One sec. Let me find where they're at. Okay. Their smarts. All right, here we go.
Boy's wicked smart.
I'm at 4, so not good enough. So they stop, dead in their tracks as they look at you, who you are basically you are effectively naked, right? Isn't that what you are?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
She's wearing a hat.
Okay. Out of combat, success means the defender backs down, slinks away, or starts a fight. So they shoot at you. Reese, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't shoot at you. I'm just like, they just got told of intruder and you step in front of them. And so I think they're going to shoot at you.
Okay. I was hoping
so
for the E02, but that works.
Why would they? I don't know. Did that logically make sense?
Just shocked.
It's not mind
Just
control.
the shock of it.
All right. I mean, I will definitely say that there is a little bit of shock to this, but like they just got told that there are intruders on board. All right. So I'm going to put them in. Let me go ahead. So yeah, we're going to draw. Okay. So is this Birdie and Reese, right?
Stephen, you're appreciating the theater of the mind with this one, aren't you?
They're just on their ship, and this naked guy shows up asking for the shower.
I wanted a surprise attack in the hallway.
We're not docked anywhere. They're just
surprise,
floating
I'm
through
sure.
space.
They die of a heart attack right in front of you. Okay, so there's 2 of them. There's 2 of you. Oh goodness gracious!
Ray just hears Reese as he's just like, Birdie's narrating. He's stripping naked. He's walking just into the room.
Okay, Reese, you're standing there, and there's a pause. They're like, "What?" And then they're looking at you, and no, and then they pull their guns up like they're gonna fire. But Birdie, you see that this little ruse it stuns them, but it doesn't suddenly make them not realize he's an intruder on their ship, and so he probably should get shot. So Birdie, you actually get to first go. What do you want to do here?
Okay. So, oh god.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I would like to cast Entangle upon them.
Sure. Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So you have an arcane power background. You've got what is it? You have Next Diver. So Next Diver, I think it's Focus, I think is your thing. So
I think so, yeah.
So I don't think you've cast a spell yet. So let me walk you through the spells, how this works.
Okay.
You got to spend a number of power points. And so for Entangle, it's 2 power points by default. But you can also spend more power points to get additional like modifiers and stuff to get additional effects. I mean, so like if you look at the explanation of Entangle, like area of effect, if you wanted to, for +2 points, the power affects everyone in a medium blast template, which would get these 2 if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And for +3 points, the area of effect is increased to a large blast template. So this basically means like if you wanted to affect them both, you would need to spend 4 power points.
I will do that.
And then you would make a focus test, as that is you should be able to just click on it in the sheet. But you would make
on the power?
your power. So it's your power skills focus. So.
And then so extra power points. So I'm spending 4.
Yeah, you're spending 2 by default, and then you're going to spend 2 extra to try to get like a blast template that's going to affect both of them.
Okay.
All right.
I think I did it right.
There you go. Okay.
So with a raise, 10.
Okay.
Nice.
So you got a raise. Hang on a second.
So that means they go from to bound.
So yeah. So normally they would be if this was just a regular success, they would be what's called vulnerable, which essentially like lowers their ability to resist your attacks. But now they can't move, and they are both distracted and vulnerable as long as they remain bound and cannot make physical actions other than trying to break free. Like that is essentially what it is. So yes, what does it look like, Birdie? Describe what it looks like as you
Nice job.
reach out and entangle them.
Birdie's like kind of in the hallway and she's just narrating what's happening with Reese. And then she hears as they, pull out their guns and she just kind of like rushes out next to Reese and she just in a panic kind of throws her hands out towards them. And like along the ground, you just watch as like frost begins to form until it hits their feet. And then it just quickly, the blue of like her, the same bright blue that we have just quickly shoots up them and ice crystals form along their body.
Okay, fantastic. You have a little bit of movement if you wanted to move in or anything like that. If you want to move any closer or whatever, you can kind of reposition. So
yeah, she'll probably move in because she would definitely want to try and disarm them.
Okay. All right, so you start to move in. It is, however, their turn. They are unable to raise their guns up further to actually shoot at Reese. So instead, they're going to attempt the only thing that they can do, which is attempt to break free from this sudden creation of this sort of like ice. You said it's sort of wrapping them. Okay. All right. So I think they're just going to try to sort of muscle their way through it, right? So let's do a strength test. First one will fail with a 1. Second one will also fail with a 1. So I'll say they both remain entangled. They're like, but you hear them like you see them like with their heads. They're like their heads are kind of moving in such a way. You're not positive that they're not doing the same thing you were just doing and communicating with somebody because you're not sure if they're like expanded or anything like that. So it's possible they could be trying. And then one of them just starts screaming, just like, they're in here! They're in here! Just kind of shouting really loud. While the other one seems to be keeping calm. Okay, we come to Reese. Reese, what would you like to do?
Am I able to form my X pistol?
Yeah, because like you should have like, I think it's like on your hip. There's like a little, I can't remember what it's called. Mm-hmm. There's like a little like insert on your hip that is kind of like what you can sort of draw or form your stuff from.
Yeah, it's Draxel. Is it a Draxel related? I wasn't sure.
I think so.
Interfered.
I can't remember. Yeah. Yeah. But I know I all I remember is it's in your hip. And so, yeah. So you want to take a shot at them?
Yeah, I'm going to manifest my X pistol and start shooting at them.
So what does it look like when you manifest your pistol off of your naked hip?
And it has like almost like a visual string that like gets attached to it that like kind of comes out from the hip to the object.
Yeah, just a nice little blue pistol starts manifesting into my hand.
Okay.
I'll bring it up and shoot some shots.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Steven and I are visualizing the same thing.
Birdie's trying so hard to stay focused.
Literally pulling a gun out of his ass.
I roll 3, but I'll Benny to reroll.
That still actually might hit, but you can do it if you want because they are currently distracted and vulnerable. Hang on one second. I think I can actually roll to do that at the end of my turn. Sorry, everything's kind of. I have like way too many things open right now.
Where the and Ray, meanwhile, is just like, everybody, stay calm. Can we all just get along?
Someone's just gonna freak out because you're like, how can you be so calm? Punch right in the
I need a 4 to hit, but do I get like bonuses at all?
Yeah, that's
no?
what.
Okay.
My I have to reload my foundry. It just sort of locked up on me.
Gotcha.
Yes, you still gotta like.
So basically they're vulnerable, which means any action against them is made at +2. So you rolled a 3, which means it would have been a 5. So like your 5 still would have been hit. So you don't have to Benny if you don't want to.
Okay. Take that 5. My pistol is 2d6 damage. Okay.
Go for it.
And a 9 total.
Okay, 9 total is 9 total damage. Describe how you take this one out. That is actually enough to give them a wound, which will take them out. So describe it, Reese.
Yeah, so the guy's shouting for help. Put a couple of these shots at him, little laser beams fly out of my pistol. Hit his gun, hit him in the throat. He goes limp.
Okay. All right. And then the other guy's right next to him, like he's the one that's shouting. And he's like, You idiot. And he kind of looks up at you at this point, like, you're getting yours, don't worry. And they're still sort of struggling, but you can tell it's just sort of like empty threats. Okay, new round between the three of you. And Reese, you draw the queen. You get to go first. Second one's still looking at you.
Oh,
Struggling.
and I'll quickly aim my sights towards the other guy.
Okay. You're
I'll
gonna
fire
get
him.
yours. You're gonna get yours, you son of a. Okay. Same deal as he is still in the, what's it called? The distracted, vulnerable state.
Okay. I got a 7 this time.
7 is a hit. Hit, not a raise.
Oh, exploding
we go.
damage. That looks good.
Yeah, that looks really good.
14.
Okay.
This one's critical. Goes towards
Yeah.
his head.
Nice.
So what does
Oh
it
my
look like as you take
gosh.
the second guy out?
Should have told me where the shower was. Give you.
Take a Betty. That was hilarious. Okay. I like it. All right. So as Birdie creates this entanglement, Reese takes advantage, one after the other, 2 shots, and they both go down. You hear the sounds of Corporal Handy, like, hey, help us over here. Come on, partner. Come on. Kind of like waving at you. And like, come on. Right there. And he's like pointing to like this panel, like right outside this little alcove nook that they're in. Like, just punch that right there. Well, help you.
Handy. It's me, Reese. Reese Morgan. And I'll punch the panel.
Damn, happy sight to see you. And you get them out. And so effectively what you get is you get a couple NPCs to tag around with you. So you now, like, they will help you. They're like, okay, what are we doing? What's the plan? And then as he says that, we'll cut. Ray, at this point, I'll say we've caught up to probably where they're at now. The message just played. You had failed on your common knowledge to identify something potentially odd about it, but people are still panicking. It seems like, in some ways, like they haven't necessarily banged down the door. But you can tell there's a lot of like concerned people. People are freaking out, but it's less like they're trying to get to the captain. A few of them still are, but there's definitely more chaos going on in here. So, what does Ray do? And you've heard, by the way, that the rest of your crew of the Old Hope has breached this vessel, the Purity, and are literally in combat.
Yeah, and Ray's purpose was reconnaissance, so she gathered a bit of information of, kind of the information coming out and whatnot. So I think at this point, Ray intervened for better or worse, and she's probably going to kind of go back to where she had been before, so that she can kind of leave her body as a sleeper here. And she will go where Dr. Sonnet is, since that was the last person that she was with. And so that's kind of who she would snap to.
And so Dr. Sonnet and Harushi, we see them kind of hiding behind this like panel as the steps go past. And then the steps you can hear are getting quieter and quieter, and then manifesting right outside of that panel. Not seen, don't worry, I'm not that mean. You see Ray.
I was like, oh, that could be bad.
Okay. So you
Nice
know
of you
that
to join us. Now that we've split them up, what do you say we go commandeer a bridge?
Sounds good. Mandy, you okay? Ray?
Not really. We've got to get this figured out. There's chaos everywhere. This is bad. But I just got here, and so she'll kind of step back to follow them because they had a plan.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a plan. And I walk towards the bridge that still has like 3 people in it, I believe.
3 people, you think? Yeah.
Yeah. And assuming neither of you say anything to stop me, I'm just going to walk towards the bridge and pull my gun. I regret to inform you that this ship is being commandeered. If you would please step away from the controls and lay down on your bellies, that would be appreciated.
And you see the head of a man with like he's kind of got like a half mock. Like it's like one side of his head is sort of like this blues, like swirling mock, like not a full mohawk, but he kind of whips around and looks at you, and he's like, idiots. And yeah, he's going to draw, and we're going into combat with you guys now. Look at that.
Oh, I wish I had a grenade.
Don't worry.
Oh,
He
okay.
does.
In space on a ship.
Thank you,
Wouldn't be the
Ashley.
first time.
It's true. All right, there we go. Let me get the captain over here.
Dr. Sean is going to go into the bridge, close the door before Ray can come through.
All
Classic.
right. So there's basically 3 people. And then it looks like it's going to be, who is it? Ray, Arushi, and Sonnet. All right. Let's get you. All right. Let's begin combat.
I wouldn't have been this bold, but I saw Ray kick some butt last session, so.
Okay. Do your thing. Just popped up there, Dr. S. On the Foundry to pick which card you want.
Got it. I chose a 5.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you walk up, hand on your gun, and you just say to them what you just said.
We're commandeering your ship. Please lie down on your bellies.
And then this captain whips around and he says,
Yes.
and then you hear the sounds of like 2 people scrambling on the ship, guns drawn, pointing in your direction. And yeah, they're going to shoot at you. And yeah. Okay. So they get first. So they're
Want to get like a persuade roll or something?
to let them come. No, they're not gonna.
No. No.
If there was an opportunity for to possibly persuade them. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Okay. They're going to, so you see both, you're going to see 2 of them have like these, not unlike what Reese has, they've sort of manifest these X pistols. And they're just going to, they're going to fire at you. So one of them is just going to fire, since Dr. Sonnet decided to use his sneak up to talk as opposed to shoot, they're going to shoot. Okay.
Well, I'm not a villain.
That's a fail, but I'm going to use a GM Benny. I've been sucking at rolling. All right, let's try this again. Yeah, there we go. That's better. That's an explosion. That's a 9. Okay, so 9 is going to be a raise against you, I believe, there, Dr. Sonnet. And so let's do. So let me do my damage. And this is an X pistol, so this is just going to do full damage to you.
Is it a raise with Dr. Sonic's X armor?
Armor goes to toughness, and toughness is for damage. If you're just firing a gun and within the close range as he's at, it's just a 4 to hit.
Yeah.
If he was at a longer distance, there could penalties. That's I'm going to show this. I'm going to show you how much damage I just did to you, Dr. Sonnet. I'm going to read that number out for everybody.
No. Can I? It's a 1.
19.
It's a 1.
What's your
Starts with
X
a 1.
toughness? Yeah, I got an explosion. Or an ace. I
X
should say.
toughness is 7.
Okay, so that means 7 would shake you, 11 would give you 1 wound, 15 would give you 2 wounds, and 19 would give you 3 wounds. So you would be at 3 wounds right off the bat with this shot. Do you want to soak?
So I can spend a Benny to soak, right?
To attempt to soak,
so
yeah.
I will do that, and I roll vigor.
Yes. And I think, I thought there was an automated way to do it, but yeah, that's fine.
Sorry, I don't know the character sheet that well.
No, you're good.
I will spend 1 more Benny to try and get a better vigor here.
Okay, that was a success.
As is the way.
Not better,
So-
but it's still the 5. So yeah.
So as you come up, very noble bright, and try to get them to surrender, they give you their answer in no uncertain terms. As one of them just manifests their gun and fires directly at you and shoots at you. And you can just see as like this pulse just rips through you. You not only feel like it in the physical part of your body, but you can almost kind of feel this weird jolt as your ghost itself feels to have sort of taken that as well. I think the second one is going to Arushi and Birdie, or excuse me, Arushi and Ray. Did you walk up with him, or did you just let him go up ahead? Is he still the only target for me?
No, I definitely walked up.
Okay. All right. The second one will then fire, and instead of at Dr. Sonnet, we'll shoot over at Arushi down this kind of out into where you guys are standing.
I would say Ray is also there too, just so you know, for target picking.
Sure. Okay, here we go. That's a fail. I've already used one Benny with these guys. I don't want to keep using all my Bennies. So they fire. One of them hits Dr. Sonnet. The second shot goes wide over Arushi's head. Okay. So, did you move yourself or something, Dr. Sonnet? Because now I have you at the start of
No,
combat.
for some reason, it keeps giving me new cards, but I should be at the 5 still.
For some
Yeah, I thought
reason,
so
when
too.
you give cards for Dr. Sonnet, it gives me a pop-up as well. I tried to just close it, but it said discard.
I think one of you might have picked the wrong sheet.
Clicking just
that
on
might be it.
Birdie. So, yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
That's all good. Okay. So next up was going to be the captain. So then the captain is going to. What is he going to do? He sees Ray, huh?
Yes.
Okay. What do I want to do? Do I want to use
Just
this
itching to put up my
cool-ass
armor,
whip?
but it's
Or
not
do I
my
want to
turn
use this
yet.
cool ass blade? Cool ass
Oh.
whip? Cool ass blade.
I mean, whip.
Okay. All right, fine. So you see him just like unfurl this whip that just kind of cackles. Actually, no, he wouldn't do that because this isn't an X weapon. He's not an idiot. And you're a blue glowy, so he wouldn't do that against you. Okay.
Okay, knife it is.
All right. Yeah. He will. No, he's just gonna shoot you. Never mind. Let's play this smart. Yeah, he's just gonna shoot you. Let's do that. So yeah, he'll shoot at you. And the fun part is this guy is a wild card. So that's what you're getting attacked with.
Oh, I was in the hall. I just got here.
I asked.
I'm still in the hall. No, I know. No, I know.
This could be
I'm just-
Steven dying already.
I know.
All right.
I'm just this could hurt.
Here we go. That is a 6 to hit. I will go ahead and let that. I think I'm happy with that. So a 6 to hit as he fires down this little hall in the direction. So there's now 3 of them kind of like in this line, 1 on either side, and then like the captain in the middle. They're all just kind of firing down this hall. It's only a handful of feet. There's Dr. Sonnet. There's Arushi, and then there's Ray. And like this one's gonna hit, and it's gonna do some damage. Oh my god, I went from 2 6s to 2 1s. It's crazy. Okay.
Oh gosh.
14 points of damage, Ray. What is your X toughness?
7.
Okay, so that's going to be 7 to shake, and then 11 for a wound, and then that's where we're at. Do you want to try to soak that?
Yeah, I should. It's my last Benny.
Oh, that's a shame.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna spend the Benny and roll vigor.
All right, do it.
Probably shouldn't have done that, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Oh no!
Oh, that's a shame.
No.
That's a real
Only
shame.
a 2. Wow.
Oh, that's so bad. That's really bad. Oh, goodness. All right.
So I have 1 wound and I'm shaken.
You're 1 wound and you're shaken. Okay. All right. But the good news is they have all gone. I think you said I think Dr. Sonnet was at 5, so Dr. Sonnet should be next. So go for it, man. You just got your ass lit up. What do you want to do?
I've got 2 wounds, but I'm calculating. So when my action card is 5 or less, I ignore 2 points of penalties on one action that turn. So I'm going to be able to ignore the penalties from those 2 wounds.
First,
but I've got to make my spirit roll for
first. We're
being
gonna do the
shaken
spirit roll to
first.
see if you unshake.
Dude, I just need a regular success.
You do need a regular success. That's a fail.
All right, so I got. I get to ignore the 2. Sorry, I didn't take it off. On one action that turn. Do I have to say that ahead of time?
No, that's fine. If you want to use it for this, I'm fine with that. That's okay. All
Yeah, I'd like to if that's all right. So I'm
Yeah,
no longer
I think this is just a free action.
Nice.
So I think that
It is
we
a
do
free
on
action,
this.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, you want to shake.
So then I will go and shoot at the captain, and this time I do have the penalty because it only works on one action.
That is true.
But you're not shaking
Okay.
anymore, and that's important.
I'm out of bennies. So I got hit hard, and I was able to soak some of it, but I fall down, and I just feebly raise my arm up and start firing back. But it's more about just like returning fire than actually trying to hit anything at that point. So I think that's why I'm just kind of like shooting wildly.
I like how you're like, oh yeah, it was more about just returning fire. I wasn't really trying to hit anything after
I
you
wasn't.
missed. After
Well,
you were trying to hit something,
I'm making the
you
role
missed.
fit the narrative.
You weren't doing super. Okay. Do you want to step away?
Absolutely,
Out of
yes.
the line of
So
fire?
my
'Cause you
pace is at
certainly could. It's a
-2,
hall.
but however
You can find
far
a
I can
nook.
go.
Yeah, you can just step back into a nook and like not necessarily be an obvious shot unless they come out of the bridge. Okay. Next up, it is Ray. Ray, same thing for you. Got to start with a shake, and you a vigor roll. And you don't have any bennies, so you can even spend.
Vigor or spirit? Vigor?
Spirit. Actually, wait.
Spirit. Okay.
It's vigor to soak, spirit to unshake. Sorry.
So okay. I was looking forward to the spirit because that's an 8. Oh my gosh! Seriously, a 2 and a 3. -1 is a 2.
Dude.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, are still shaken. And what that means is that you basically can't really do much this round. You can say a thing or two, but you're effectively like incapable of like taking proper actions and things like that. So you can't attack or all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Can I move myself into a little bit of cover when I'm shaken?
See.
Is that a...
This is where I have to remember all the things from shaken because
Tracy said shaken, you can still move.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say you could probably duck out too. And so the way I'm picturing it, we've got like a hall that goes up to the bridge, and like there's room for you guys to duck off to either side of the hall. And so I'm going to say Ray is in one position now. Dr. Sonnet is another. There's no more places to hide. And there's
Arushi's just
Arushi
there front and center.
right front and center. Okay. And it is Arushi's turn.
I'm gonna take a shot with my X pistol at the the captain.
Okay. At the big one in the middle. Absolutely. Go ahead.
That's a shooting roll first, no?
Yeah, so you roll you could do it with your weapon. Just click your weapon. It should be on your quick
Sorry,
clicks.
I misclicked, but should be bad.
Yeah.
11 for shooting.
Yeah, that's fine. In the future, just roll from like if you go on the front page of your character sheet.
Oh god, I'm so sorry I missed that. Do you want to do that instead?
No, that was a good roll. Let's not ruin it. 11 will be a hit with a raise. So when you roll damage, click on your weapon again on Foundry.
Yeah. And just
hit the checkbox for raise damage and then click damage to roll.
Cool. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you're all good. Okay.
Hell yes. 13.
And what kind of weapon are you using?
X pistol.
Okay, so that would do. Okay, that would do I would shake and do a single wound to them. I am going to spend one of his personal bennies to try to soak. Let's see if I can not take that. So here I go. And I succeed. So as you fire at him, you can see that he kind of gets hit. You see this like little crackling of light around him, but then he kind of shrugs it off, and he kind of looks up, and he is, because he soaked the one wound he would have taken, he also is not shaken. And so you shoot, you fire, you hit, but he seems to have kind of just taken it. He just sat there and took it. Okay. Arushi, do you want to move back a bit? Like you could probably run back down the stairs if you wanted to try to find some way where you're not going to get shot. If you guys go first.
Yeah, I was gonna move if there was somewhere that immediately looks like it could be some kind of cover or out of immediate line of sight.
Yeah,
So
like I was
if
saying,
there's
it's
that
a hall.
staircase-
Yeah, I would say it's a hall. One's like right now, Ray and Dr. Sonnet have kind of taken either side of the hall at this point, and like they're kind of
Right.
peeking around and firing. But you could like backtrack and like go down the stairs a bit so that you can kind of look up from the stairs.
Yeah,
below.
I would love to do that.
Okay. Let's check back in with Birdie and Reese. Birdie and Reese, you have probably been getting, I would assume, various messages from
Telepathic
your,
screams of pain.
your crew.
Taking fire. Taking fire.
It hurts so bad.
Okay. What would the two of you like to do?
Well, Henry will meet you at the bridge, and I'm gonna X ghost right out my body right there and just drop.
Okay. I'm going to drop your body right there. Okay. So then
Nice.
suddenly manifesting right next to, who do you want to manifest next to?
Let's go to Sunny D. He's
Okay.
been screaming. I was like, just
And
shut
so
up,
that
man. I
means-
got here.
That means Reese is going to basically manifest in the middle of the hall right now. So he's going to be the one that's right there. Birdie, what do you want to do?
She'll quickly get the guns from the guys that Reese killed and arm Corporal Handy and his group, and then
Okay.
she will also ex-ghost.
So yeah, they'll take those and then you'll show up. And I would say don't waste your like action having just say get the guns,
Oh,
meet
okay.
us at the
Yeah,
bridge,
yeah.
and they'll do it. It's fine. And so I'll say you're going to have one more round without them making it here. And so all of you guys are now going to be in this round without them. And then if you survive this round or if the combat's still going on,
Survive.
then I mean, that was not a good start. I'm just saying that was a pretty rough start.
It really wasn't.
Okay, so let me add you two to the thing. Okay. All right, so let's go to the next round then. So currently, Birdie, who do you manifest next to?
She would have followed Reese, so she'd be behind Reese.
Okay, so the two of you are
I
basically the
recognize-
ones that can
yeah.
be targeted. No,
Yeah.
I appreciate it. All right, next round. Okay. Yeah, it keeps saying that Ashley is the user for Dr. Sonnet, and we all know that that's not the case. And even down in the user player panel, it actually everything's correct. You guys both did it correct, so I don't know why it's continuing to do this.
Quit trying to quarterback my character, Ashley. My goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, that's what she does. She's
Okay.
totally running your character.
Yeah, Steven's doing
Arushi.
so well. Why would you not want to?
Okay, Arushi, you race back. You hop down into the stairs, but you hear as you're running away. You hear like this sudden, zzz, and you look back and you can see there's Birdie and Reese. Like they're kind of just manifesting and joining the fight now. And Arushi, for free, give me a notice test first, and then you can take your turn. It's a free action.
Sweet. Notice you said?
Yeah.
Okay. So fail with a 3.
Okay. You think you saw as you were like looping down. I'm gonna like imagine it like you're just like looping over top of like a railing and then laying down on the stairs. But as you're swooping back down, you're pretty sure you saw the captain do the classic reaching his hand up to his forehead as if he's communicating something, but you weren't capable of hearing exactly what it was. He just probably sent out a communication of some kind. Okay, it is your turn. What would you like to do, Arushi?
Do I see anyone that I can shoot?
I would say you're shooting through Birdie and Reese at this point, so I would probably give them light cover. So that basically means that it's like a -2 on your shot.
Okay.
But you could attack any of the three in the bridge. They're kind of like sitting ducks in a way, as they're like essentially trapped in the
Sure.
bridge.
Then
firing into them?
I'll try to hit the captain. I'm happy to take the -2. Can I yell something to Birdie and Reese while I'm doing that, or
Free action. Yeah,
Okay.
3.
So I'm gonna yell to Birdie and Reese. Gunfire in the hallway. Get out! Get out! And I'm gonna fire with
Okay.
my pistol again.
Okay. Go
And
for it.
I will roll appropriately this time. 5.
That is a 3, as you have a -2 on the shot.
Oh,
because you're
yes, thank
firing
you.
through Birdie and Reese. That is a
Yes.
fail. Do you want a Benny?
I do. I do.
Okay.
Oh, what is it like to have bennies left?
I have
There's another
It's
3.
great because you roll exactly the same. That's
You just fire and
really
fire.
awesome.
And like Reese and Birdie, you just manifest, and all of a sudden you're getting shot at from behind, and Arushi is saying, "Gunfire in the hall," and then she's firing at you.
Heard.
Okay. All right. It is going to be the captain's turn next. Captain sees Reese and Birdie. Okay.
They see a bare ass naked dude manifest. He's only wearing a hat and goggles.
So
I mean,
ridiculous.
that's why Arushi's party was so terrible. She was just like really shocked by Reese's nudity.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, which way was Reese facing?
I'm gonna 50-50 who gets hit. 1 to 3 is Birdie. Actually, no, I think we said Reese was up front, right? So it's gonna be Reese. He wouldn't. Okay, yeah. So he's gonna shoot at Reese. Jeez. He's gonna shoot at the naked man. Okay. Here we go.
As happens.
Well, let me show you what he rolled.
We see the critical failure. label.
As he rolls
Out
2 natty ones. So I don't think this is an unstable weapon. Yeah, this isn't an unstable weapon, so it's not gonna go. We're not gonna go to the table. But I will say, what it does is essentially like dematerializes in his hand. He goes to fire, and right as he goes to pull the trigger, Reese, you like it's like lowered right in your direction. You just see like it zips back like into like the hip, and it's not like broken. It's just he's essentially disarmed. And we'll say that's the critical fail. And he's like, "God, blasted idiots!" as he seems to be yelling at somebody because it's somebody else's fault. And then Reese, it's your turn, and I'm going to give you also a notice test for free. As you first manifested in, you might have heard something, and so I'm going to see if you heard it as you first popped in. It's the same roll I gave Arushi, basically.
It's exploded.
Look at you, buddy.
A 9.
Nice.
You heard him as you were like ducking when Arushi was trying to kill you. You heard him say, like he was saying, like he was calling and trying to get various people to sort of pick up. But you realize he was like just saying to one of the people next to him, he's just like, "Hold them off so Stolly can get to the pod." And we'll say that. Your turn, Reese. Full action. Do whatever you like.
They're stalling. Someone's trying to get to the pod. What if you look for it? And then I'll fire it at a thug.
Okay, you fire at one of the 2 assistants. So like they're kind of trying to take cover behind these seats and stuff, but it's not enough. Like I haven't actually taken an action with them to do that. So I'm just going to say it's more for flavor. They're trying to do it. Okay.
Got a 5.
You fire in, you hit one of them. They're over by what looks like sort of the navigation panel. You see a little spark come up, and then it hits him.
Damage is terrible. I'll go ahead and bend it.
Yeah, that's 3 damage. That wouldn't even hurt a house cat.
Yeah.
What are you doing? There we go. That's better.
It's exploding.
There we go.
Total 15.
Describe how you take this one out.
Nice.
Pull up my X pistol. It's got a little charm on it, a little dangling tiny ship. And I pew pew towards that guy.
Okay. Reese has taken out all 3 of the people. Okay. All right. One of them falls. And just kind of goes limp, like half falling out of the nav chair.
And I'll move in towards the bridge.
You're gonna move in. Okay,
Yeah.
so you are on. It's not like a Star Trek bridge. It is more cramped Firefly kind of bridge. Like you come up into it. Like there's not a lot of movement here, so you're basically in melee at this point with them. Okay, which means we come to Dr. Sonnet. You are not shaken, but you do have 2 wounds. What do you want to do?
I yell for a medic, and then I was a soldier, so it's a first reaction. I said I had my med kit handy, so I'm going to start rifling through that, using my med kit and grabbing my restoration gel, and I want to try and heal some of the wounds on myself. I didn't get my calculating bonus this time, where I had to have a lower card, so I'm going to try and take some of these wounds down. The restoration gel allows me to heal on a turn instead of 10 minutes.
Excellent, because I was just going to bring that up. Actually,
Yeah.
perfect. Okay.
So the med kit gives me +1. So it should be a net of -1 because of the 2 wounds.
Okay, sounds good. I
got
followed
this.
all of that. Okay. It's an 8. It's a success with race.
Yay.
That's all I know about healing. Do I get to take off 1 wound for each success?
Yeah, so
sorry.
when you get a raise, it removes 2 wounds. Yes. That's correct.
Okay. So I have a hole in my chest, and I'm
Mhm.
covering it with this restoration gel.
Just rubbing
an
oil
ointment.
all over your chest.
It's like a cannonball wound that I'm putting ointment on.
Okay.
And
It'll be
that
fine.
patches everything up. So I'm doing better now.
Just rubbing oil on your chest.
It wasn't as bad as I thought. I'm okay.
Okay. Okay, we just see like the flesh start to stitch. Actually, no way. You're still in your ghost form, right? Okay.
He's capped.
No,
actually,
I'm physical
wait.
right now. I'm physical.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're capped. That's right. You and
Yeah.
Reese are the capped ones. Okay. Yep. Nope. You're right. Everything's fine. All right. Perfect. Fantastic. Ray, we come to you. You unshake. It does it automatically, but I have to like move us through the tracker. Actually, no, you don't. There's a 3 because I forgot the -1 from the wound. You failed. That's a shame. I'll tell you what. Does somebody want to loan her a Benny to unshake? I don't want her sitting
Yes,
around not doing anything.
I do.
Okay.
I don't have any.
Actually, I think. Wait. I think there's a mechanic.
It costs
in the
2 to
game.
1.
It costs 2. Yeah, there's a mechanic.
I'll
and Honkler there,
spend-
so if
I'll
you do
spend
that,
2.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So you spend 2 to give Ray 1. Ray, you can spend it to auto unshake, and you can take your turn.
Thank you.
Hell
Thank you so
yes.
much. Okay.
So actually, wait, Birdie, what do you do to get Ray unshaken? What do you say to her? What do you do? What do you think?
She's just like, Ray, get your shit together. You just beat some guy's ass on Onyx earlier. You got this. Mandy needs you. Get your head together.
And then Arushi takes a shot, and it
And-
nearly takes off Birdie's head.
Shit.
Okay.
And that,
All right, Ray.
that definitely works. That definitely works. Oh,
Love it.
you're right. Oh, okay. And then Ray kind of adjusts a little bit. So what Ray would like to do, because there's a lot of kind of gunfighting going on, and
Yeah, you can get up in there.
Jeez.
Reese is up in there now. Like that. Like it's. There's a little bit of melee stuff going to be happening now. If you want to get up in there with him.
okay, then that is what I will do. So then I will get up in that, and will I be able to then kind of do like a gang up kind of a situation? Can I get in? Would we
Which
be,
one
like,
did you run
outnumbering?
towards, Reese? Did you? Because you killed one of them, which opened up kind of a space by the nav console. Did you just go towards where the one that died, or did you go kind of towards where the captain was
Towards
sort
the
of
other
perched
thug.
up fire?
The
Okay,
second
towards the
one,
other
right?
thugs.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you ran towards the other thug, that's the name of the stuff in Foundry. Then yeah, you could get gang up on that one.
I would like to do that.
Okay. All right, go on in.
So then that'll
Watch
be
what
a
happens to
+1 on the attack.
Locks the door. It's like, you're locked in here with me, Captain says. Oh my
Oh
god.
no!
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, shoot. That is a crit fail. That's
Okay.
a crit fail.
Okay. What do you say as you're rushing in? It's tight quarters. Maybe the body of the other one of these people on the ship slides off the seat. You kind of just trip over it and you go like stumbling in. We can say maybe you kind of get tumbled and fall, and we'll give you like what do you want to say? You want to just say we were going to give you like distracted? Maybe you just kind of get tripped over it or something like that. We'll give you distracted for a round.
Back. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, perfect. All right, and it is now that one's turn. Actually, wait, which one's? I always get distracted and vulnerable, confused. So just put it on your sheet. It should go ahead and auto calculate. All right, you're right next to him now. Reese is next to him now. Both of you are blue glowies. Okay, you're gonna see like this one that Ray and Reese just kind of got up next to. Ray kind of stumbled. Reese is still there. He's gonna go ahead and you see his blade. He just kind of flicks his hand, and suddenly you see this blue glowing saber just emerge from where the pistol would have been. And then he is going to slash down. I'm going to say at Reese, because I'm going to say Ray probably didn't get there. That's part of the critical fail. She didn't get in there.
Yeah, because I tripped.
Yeah. And so I'm going to target Reese with this attack. And this is going to go against your parries. We're doing melee now, so it's not just a forward. Okay. All right. Yeah, let's do it. Oh, buddy. That is an explosion. That's an 8.
Oh,
Gosh.
Parry of 5.
Parry 5. So it's a hit, not a raise. So let me go ahead and roll that damage. And this is going to go against your X toughness. I think I'm going to... Because he's probably not going to be around. I think I'm going to go ahead and spend a Benny to reroll that damage. He's probably not going to be around for that long. So let me do that damage again. All right, that's a little better. That's a 4. What's your X toughness?
It is 6.
Okay, so he slashes down. Wait a second. It's not rolling.
Yeah, it's doing like a 0 plus.
Yeah, there should be a D6 in there. It's not rolling. Okay, I'm just going to roll it fresh.
That seemed low.
Okay, so it's going to be a total of 9. Okay, so it's 9 against your X toughness. Sorry.
Yeah, I have a 6, so it's 3 exceeded.
Okay, so that's not going to wound you, but it will shake you. So you get shaken.
I'll spend the Benny to soak. Is that how that works?
You don't soak shaken.
Okay.
You would soak a wound. Since you didn't take any wounds, you probably wouldn't. You want to just do this. You're gonna have. You can spend a Benny to just freely unshake, but you also, when it comes to your turn, you'll get a free attempt to roll a vigor test to unshake. So that's another option. So it's just a question of whether you want to burn the Benny now or just try to get it for free later. Okay, that's his turn, and then we go to Birdie. Birdie, what do you want to do?
Do I know where the escape pod is or would be located on the ship?
I would say because you and Reese took the moment to like try to figure out the layout of the ship, I would say, yeah, you would probably know. You're nowhere near it, unfortunately. It's probably more towards the rear of the ship. So it would probably take you a round or two to get over there, but you could try if you wanted. You can't like manifest there because there's no one over there.
Yeah.
Is it closer to the cargo bay where her... Oh, she didn't leave a body there. Never mind.
No, I didn't. My body's still at the museum. Yeah, Birdie will take off running because Reese specifically told her to go or someone to go.
All right, I'll tell you what. Give me an athletics test and we'll see. We'll just sort of make this like your own little task.
Okay.
And how well you do determines maybe how quickly you get there. With a 2, you sit down and think about your life for a little while, and then you get up, get a hot dog, sit back down.
Let's retry it.
And then you start going. Okay. That's much better.
There we go. She's a dancer. Yes. 11.
Okay. I will say, in basically one turn, you will be able to like leap down the stairs and just kind of do the classic. There's kind of slide down the railing. And you bolt into a sprint.
Very footloose.
And I would say like your movement on your next turn will put you right to like where the escape pods are. And you'll be able to take an action once you get there. So you're almost there in one turn. Okay. That's literally as good as you could do. Awesome. Next round. Let's go. Let's see. Sonnet, do your thing. Got it?
Got it. 4.
Okay. All right. The one with the blade on the bridge gets the ace of diamonds. So that's going to break the tie with Ray's ace. And it's going to attempt to slash again at Reese. I am going to, because I think it's fun, I'm going to try to maybe wild attack on you. Yeah. He's just going to start laying and going nuts on you, Reese.
No, I'm laying nuts on him.
That's going to be a total of a 7.
Yeah, I have a 6 toughness.
Okay, so and it's X toughness too. And then he will roll his damage as he continues to slash away at you. And I got to roll it extra. So I don't know why that thing's not rolling properly. So it's a 4. 4 plus 4, so 8 total. Yeah, 8 total. I rolled 2 4s. So that's 8. What's
So
your X toughness?
It's 6 right now. So take
Okay, so again, you are already shaken.
Yeah.
So this would give you a wound. You can now spend the Benny if you want to try to do like yours to soak the wound if you want.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll spend the Benny to soak this wound.
All right. And I think there's I think if you do it, there's a way to do it automatically. So go ahead and roll a vigor. Soaking is a roll. Like you have to roll
okay.
your vigor. Yeah. Oh goodness gracious.
No.
Not good, but I got Benny suspend. I'll reroll. Got a 3.
Go for it, man. That's what happens when you go all out and you put a flashlight on your head.
No.
Exploding
Okay.
6 gives me a 7.
You soak the wound. You're no longer. You can remove the shaken as well. Like as he's just swinging wildly, cutting, and he's like cutting down. You can see like each time you're moving, shifting, and he is just kind of going wild with this sort of glowing saber. And then finally, as he swings down, you duck, and it gets kind of caught or stuck for a second in the seat where you just dodge out of the way. And then he pulls, and so he's trying to pull it away, and so he's vulnerable because I did a wild attack. Ray, your turn. You're up here. You've fallen. You kind of stumbled down. Look kind of ridiculous, but you're okay. It ended up not actually hurting you because the captain isn't gone yet. What do you want to do?
Okay. And so distracted means, oops, I didn't mean to, I was just trying to see what it does. So subtract 2 from trait rolls. Okay.
Yeah, so distracted means you subtract 2 from straight rolls, and vulnerable, I think, is like attacks against it or something like that, or at -2.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I can try again to hit something.
Yeah, so you could get the gang up bonus in the one with Reese now that's also vulnerable. So this should be a pretty easy hit.
Theoretically.
Cue the critical fail.
Right? Okay, so...
Just don't roll a critical fail and you'll hit them, basically.
So what is my modifier to this roll then?
Because
he's
we're not doing
vulnerable and gang
auto-targeting.
up.
So he's vulnerable. So basically all attacks against him are... Just give yourself +2. And then the gang up
And then
bonus.
+1 from gang up.
No?
So 3 total. I
Okay.
think.
Nice.
There you go.
Oh no. Okay, 5. All right.
5 is exactly enough. His parry is 5, so that will in
Hell
fact hit.
yes.
Low dice, I was
Roll
worried.
damage.
All
And
right.
you're using your fist, right? Your unarmed monk fist.
Yes.
Your blue glowy. That's fine. There's going to be no effect here. Like it's just standard.
Oh, 5.
Okay. 5 is enough to shake him. He has an X toughness of 5, which means he will be shaken. So it's not
Something.
enough to take him out of the fight. But he's trying to kind of dislodge where his saber has kind of gotten stuck, and you come up behind him and just right in the back of the head.
Yeah.
And you're still like your foot is caught on the body as you try to climb up, and that means that like you don't get all on it that you want. He's still kind of standing and woozy. He is literally a second away from falling completely. Okay.
We almost got this.
It is your turn.
I saw Birdie run past me on the stairs, and I heard Reese say that thing about the pod. So I'm making an assumption that that's what Birdie is going to handle. I would like to go in the other direction towards the bridge and look for like a security console to maybe try and disable the pod from here.
Okay. I would say that we've established that the bridge is small and tight quarters. There's 4 active combatants in there right now. And there is like a body. So like you can certainly get to a console, but I would say like you know, with all of these people like literally on top of you, it probably would be a very difficult yeah.
No, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Can I then make the effort to move up as close as I can to said console and take a shot at one of these dudes?
I think that's fine. Yeah.
Woozy looking guy that
Absolutely.
Ray almost took down.
I would say
Almost.
firing as a captain might be a little easier because you are firing into melee because
okay,
two of your allies are in melee
Please don't
right
shoot
now.
me.
I said there was gunfire. I just left out the part that it was for me. Alright,
And the captain is actually going next too.
okay.
So if you do like really well, maybe they don't go.
That's a 3 on my shooting.
Okay.
Which
So you
probably
pull up the pistol, you fire, shot goes wide. You see a small explosion from a console right behind. It's like they duck out of the way. Do you want a Benny? Try to shoot again?
I would.
Go for it.
Benny. This is my last Benny. So.
You're at the end.
Yes.
4 will hit.
4.
Yay.
Oh,
There you
4
go.
will hit. Get
That
out of
hits.
here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so lucky. All right, sweet. That's a 5 damage.
Unfortunately, whatever they seem to be wearing some kind of X armor, and like because the last time you fired at them, there was like this. You saw like this strange cascading color kind of go over them, and the same thing happens this time. As like your shot is absorbed by whatever it is that they're wearing.
That's
Okay.
my turn.
All right, the captain is next. It's gotten a little tight quarters here in the bridge now. He is going to do the same thing that the other guy did, and he's just going to like his pistol. I think his pistol critically fared last time and disappeared. I think he's gonna at this point. The bridge is completely clustered now. He's gonna go ahead and pull out his blade. So you see a similar like blue like saber come out, and this one's kind of almost got like blue flames flickering off of it. He kind of pulls it across his eyes, and you can just see like the glow in his face. And then he has got a couple options, and he's got Ray, he's got Reese, he's got Arushi. Yeah, I have to say Arushi's a little further away. All right, I'm gonna say 1 to 3 is gonna be Ray. I'm just gonna roll randomly to see who I attack first. It's gonna go after Ray. It is a 2. All right, so he's gonna step up, Ray, and he's going to try to bury this saber in your back. And okay, I am also gonna do wild attack because that's fun. All right. Oh yeah. I'm not. Can you guys see when all the dice explode? When
No.
Oh,
Oh, you guys are
No.
missing out because I just rolled a 16.
No. Oh my gosh.
what
There it
the
is.
fuck? Ah.
Yeah, I got my wild die.
Wow.
I got two aces, 2 6s aced, and then my D8 also got an 8.
Wow.
So the best of those two was the 14 from my wild die plus 2 is 16. So that's a 16 to hit. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Double check your character sheet. Be sure.
Make sure.
Yes.
It's against your parry. You're looking at your parry? Okay. Okay. Here we go. Oh my god. Oh my god. I just got worse.
What?
I'm acing like crazy. 18
What
points
is
of damage.
that?
I got 2 more aces on my damage roll.
What?
18 points of damage.
Well, my X tough is 7.
That's great. Okay, so 7 would be shake. 11 would be first wound. 15 would be second wound. So shaken with 2 wounds.
But I already had 1 wound. So then that means that I
Yeah.
have
Oh,
3
no.
wounds.
Okay. So as you come in and you bring your fist down on the back of this thug that's kind of engaged with Reese, you leave yourself vulnerable and like you're kind of getting tugged on, like your legs kind of get caught up in the corpse of this other one that Reese killed. So the captain comes up and it just begins to wildly swing and it's like crisscrossing, slashing through the back, and you just hear. Now, obviously, for you, it's more of a distant feel because it's your body on the cluster bus that is taking those wounds, but nonetheless, like the sensory overload of the moment. So go ahead and put that in. And that is his turn.
I did. I don't know that anybody has this left, but Tracy threw in chat if anybody has 2 bennies that they want to give to me that I
That's
could
true.
do a vigor roll to soak.
I have
Everyone
zero,
suddenly looks
man.
down like, oh,
I'm
geez.
so sorry.
Ooh, Betty's got running out.
I have zero.
Bennies. We are near the end of the ep, so this is the time to get you guys.
Yeah, I don't think anybody
I
has
didn't
two.
give you. How did you get a new Benny? I didn't give you a Benny. Man, this thing's weird sometimes.
Okay.
You do not have one
Nice.
Benny, Doug.
Shit. Yeah, I'll give you my 2 bennies, my last 2.
Oh my, that's so brave. You're off on your own.
I know.
She really didn't want to do it
concerned.
either.
Wow.
though.
And you realize
No,
that
you
note
can
of
do
that.
it. You can.
you
do
realize
it,
this
Birdie.
could totally be wasted because
That's
I've got
fine.
a D6 for vigor and I could still
remember
fail
that-
because
The tough, like you're not taking the -3 because the wound, like on your toughness to soak, you're not taking the wounds that you're only got a -1 from the existing wound you had. So like your new wounds haven't taken effect yet. on
oh
your
okay,
soak.
let me change that on my sheet then because
So it's only so it's only a -1 because that's what you had going into this attack.
and the shaken doesn't apply yet either.
No, shaken doesn't apply because
Okay.
this is literally to not have
Right,
that
to
hit.
not have that
as
happen.
much.
Yeah.
Thank
of
you
an
for saying
effect
that
on
because
it.
I was like, how
Yeah.
am I possibly going to pass this? Okay. Oh come on. Oh
Yeah,
come
so you're
on.
basically just rolling a vigor -1.
Oh.
And so now you can go ahead and put shaken and 2 more wounds, and now you
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Ah.
Ashley. You wasted. I rolled a 4 -1 from the old wound is a 3.
Why didn't you just roll a 5? I don't understand. Why didn't you just ace your dice?
I don't.
Long and I have no
that-
trouble acing dice. I don't see
I
what's the
just-
problem, everyone.
Poor planning. Poor planning. Clearly.
Okay,
Ugh.
so
My luck
Ray.
didn't extend to you. I'm sorry.
Oh, my
Ray, you're
luck
not looking
spoiled
too
your
great.
bennies. Your bennies would have been fine in your hands. In my hands,
Okay.
did not do good things.
So don't worry, you're at 3. You can still function, but if you take further damage, you go incapacitated. So if you're going to take further damage, you're going to go incapacitated. So at 3, you're okay. You're not great, but you're okay. Okay, Birdie, we come to
this
you.
Sucks.
Birdie, you race up,
Yeah.
around the corner, and you can see inside of like one of these escape pods. You can see that there is a woman in, and it's like it's big enough where there's like she can kind of stand, but she's leaning over top of things. It's kind of clunky, but like there's a seat, and it's definitely one of the types of pods that you can kind of power and fly. You would think it might even have its own like hyperlight engine of some kind, and you can see she's kind of making ready to go, and she turns around to kind of hit the door to close it, like she's ready to finally launch, and that's when she sees you. But it's your turn, so I'm gonna let you go, and then I'm gonna put her in the order as well. So what do you want to do?
Can I try and entangle her? And then
Good try.
would like to spend the extra power points to try and entangle the door if that's something I could do.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so like you want to just do it like you did last time. Just do it like it's a medium
Yeah.
blast template, and we'll say it'll
Yeah.
hit her, and maybe it'll jam the door. I like that. That's good.
Nice thought, Ashley.
Cool.
It's the last one you're never gonna have.
have. 5?
That's a success. That's what you would need.
No
Okay.
raise though, so she's not bound.
Yeah, so she's just entangled. The door is just entangled. So basically, she would need to essentially free herself and potentially free the door to close it. Okay, I'm gonna have her go at the. I'm gonna have her go in the next round. I just added her in. Her turn was kind of getting stuff ready. You didn't see it, so that's fine. So then we come to Sonnet. Sonnet is your turn.
So I know the
Seeing-
cockpit is very crowded.
It is
Would
a-
it be possible for Sonnet to do like a military crawl to Ray, or is there just not enough space?
There's enough space. I think there's definitely enough space. There's a difference between I think you can stand and do things. It's just a question of how much
I
you
want to
wanna
try
do.
and perform some first aid on Ray. Is the plan? So I would call for a medic, and then I would answer my own call again, moving towards Ray.
Okay. So you call out for a medic, crawl in, sure.
And it's the same thing. I've got 3 uses of the restoration gel. I used 1, so that means I've got 2 left.
Yeah.
I'll use 1 more, so it can
Okay.
happen on a turn. And
Got
I
it.
get +1 to this because I'm no longer wounded.
Now I have a question. How does that regeneration gel affect her since she's a blue glowy?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, you can't do anything.
I think
I
I
you
can't
can.
heal her at all.
Now that I think about it.
Yeah, no, because
that right?
my
You can
yeah,
ghost
because my
her
body's
body,
back
right? Is that
in the
possible?
bus. So
You'd be in the bus.
You could technically
Would
ghost to
she
her body.
With my
Snap
med kit and
back?
No,
restoration
you couldn't.
gel.
You couldn't
No.
because you ghost to where somebody else's ghost is.
Ghost
so
is.
she wouldn't
Gotcha,
be able
But
to ghost to the.
with the amount of damage she's taken, could Ray potentially snap back to her body?
Yes.
But it would have to be on her turn, right?
Yeah, I would say, I think she might automatically do it when she goes incapacitated, if I recall correctly. I think
That might be what I'm thinking of. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind then. I'm calling for a medic and I'm not
You
answering.
just keep
the
rubbing
call.
it on your chest. Then that's your turn. I'm super shiny.
And, I'll take out my pistol and I'll try to hit the thug that's still standing.
Okay, you would be firing into melee at this point, as it has really
what could go
become a bit of a cluster in there. With everyone's got kind of got melee weapons out at this point. Just keep that in mind.
What kind
If
of
you're firing
mod is
towards the
that?
thug, I would probably give them light cover or something like that. So that would be like a -2 as you're essentially trying to fire over Ray's shoulder and not
-2.
hit her.
But my card is a 4 and I'm calculating. If my card is 5 or less, I ignore up to 2 points of penalties. So I will ignore that -2.
Flexing those
I just want to
abilities.
double check something on firing into
Ninjas.
melee. If you want to give me 1 second before you commit to
worries.
it, let me just.
I just want to keep bragging about how my ability is going to ignore the -2 that you've just imposed
You've-
upon me.
you've mentioned
'cause
that, I
As a
think.
GM, your
Okay.
powers are
At
limited,
least once.
not infinite.
So, Stephen,
Okay.
I could,
No, I think you're
when
okay.
I get incapacitated, I could snap to my body, and then you could go to the ghost that's in my
Yeah,
body.
by then the moment will be over and I won't care as much, and out of sight, out of
okay.
mind.
Okay. All right. I'll just die on a cluster bus. Cool.
The best place to die. So I'm good to shoot, you said?
Yeah, so
No, no,
I'm
this-
just going to read it to how this works. So, because we're using the innocent bystander rule, so when an attacker misses a shooting or athletics, which is throwing roll, it may sometimes be important to see if any of their targets in the line of fire were hit. The GM generally uses this rule when it's dramatically appropriate. I feel like this is dramatically appropriate. So each skill die that hits a 1 hits a random victim adjacent to or directly in the line of fire to the original target. Not your wild dice, only your skill die. Okay.
What are the odds of rolling a 1, though?
Yeah,
Like, that's
it's
not gonna
basically
happen.
just like you're only rolling 1 die. You're fine. Or you kill Melissa.
Me, not Ray. Me.
Yeah, you just see her keel over in her chair.
It would up the drama, and
Come on,
just for the meme of me killing Melissa, it's worth trying, right?
If you target Melissa, no -2 penalty. You just
Not targeting Melissa, going for the thug. Got a rate, or got an ace, but I don't think it's enough for a raise. So just
That is
the thug.
correct. So you're fire. It is a hit though. That will be a hit. That is just enough to hit because you would have had the -2 from cover, so it would have been a 5. So that 5 is enough to hit. So yeah.
No, I got rid of the -2.
Okay.
So it was
Either
still a
way, 7 is still not a raise. So yeah. Okay.
7 damage.
Okay. Go ahead and describe. He is already shaken and vulnerable. He's also vulnerable, by the way. It hasn't come around back to his turn to clear that. So you can go ahead and describe how you make this impossible shot and take him out.
Nice.
All right, so I was aiming at the one right next to Ray, and I called out medic for Ray, and I think that like made her like slightly turn around, like, is someone here to help me? And that just like her slightly moving when I called out was enough for me to get the shot on the person behind her.
Okay. It's the second one of these attendants to the captain falls. And so now there's 2 bodies laying on the ground, which is making movement a little cluttered. The captain's still here, like waving this glowing saber around. Ray has been taking the brunt of that so far. But now we come to the end of the round and we got Reese.
You can surrender. You're outnumbered. Toss my pistol up in the air. It turns into a giant X sword. Catch it with 2 hands.
Okay.
And I'll bring it down on him if he doesn't say anything.
Yeah, and he'll just say, never give up, never surrender. And then you can go ahead and roll your attack. And he says it without a hint of knowing what that's a reference to.
Is there any gang up bonus for Reese?
I would say at this point, yes, because it's the 2 of you. Arushi and Dr. Sana are not like literally in melee, so I would say the two of you for sure. So you get a +1 to your roll from that.
Got a 6.
Fantastic. A 6 is just enough to hit his parry.
Sweet.
All
Damage
right.
is 10 total.
Okay, that 10 is enough to. Okay, that 10 is enough to. You shouldn't have that anymore. Sorry. Yeah, that's enough to make him shaken. It's not enough to get a wound on him, but yeah, you bring it down. He manages to parry it slightly, but like the flat of the sword like catches him on the head, and you see his head kind of go off to the side, and he stumbles for a second, but no wound. Okay.
The captain
New
wasn't
round.
even shaken yet.
No,
This first
I
hit
haven't done
automatic.
anything to him. Half of you are running away. Some of you aren't even attacking. That's what happens.
I keep crit failing.
Melissa keeps dying. All that kind of good stuff. Somebody rolled a joker. There we go. Ray, you guys wanted bennies? You got bennies.
Oh my God,
Ray
many
rolled
bennies.
a
Yes.
joker. That means all of you get a benny.
I
It also
even
means
said that
Ray,
in
you can
chat.
go anywhere you want.
Holy crap.
It's telling me
That's a-
there aren't enough
that's a-
cards available in the deck.
All
I think I
of
need to
them are
refresh
out.
it. Let me see. Not reset. Just reshuffle. Okay, so now let's go ahead and finish dealing. Sorry, that guy's dead. Let's remove the thug. Okay, Reese. Sonnet, you got a 5 again. And then Stolly also got a Benny. One of mine got a Benny too. Everyone,
Nice.
Benny's forever. We're like Oprah. This is great.
Dear.
Look underneath your chair. There's a Benny.
It's not bennies,
Betty
it's
and June.
bees.
Okay. You're gonna go first because you're a hero, so you get to go first. What do you want to do there, Ray? Ray,
Yes.
don't forget. I think you get a +2 to all the stuff that you do when you've got a Benny on your turn. You specifically get a +2, I think, to your trait
Okay.
rules.
But I am
If I recall correctly.
shaken.
Yeah, so you got to do that first.
Okay. So that's a spirit roll, right?
Yeah, it's a spirit roll, but you also have a Benny. So if you fail this, if
Okay.
you fail this, you can always spend the Benny to unshake.
And this gets a +2.
Right, so you're gonna end up with a net of -1.
Oh.
You still have 3 wounds.
How did that?
No, that's a success. Yeah, you rolled a success. So
Oh, okay. Yay.
yeah, you rolled a 4. So
The
yeah, you
dice
ended
are
up
so
after
low.
+2 from the
Nice.
Joker, -3 from the wounds. So that basically is you shouldn't have an additional +2, but like basically it's -3 from the wounds. Joker's +2, so it's a -1. You rolled a 5, -1 is 4. That's a success. You unshake. You can keep the Benny. You have 3 wounds, however. It is still your turn. What would you like to do?
Okay. So I can just try to hit again and just do what I do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you do have a +2 on all your trait rolls and stuff.
You got
turn.
this. You got this.
All right.
So
I'm just going to.
Again, the net is going to be you're going to be rolling with a -1. But
Yeah, I think I'm
because
just
you're
not.
ganging up, you're rolling flat.
Oh,
Rolling flat.
okay. So I'm gonna add the +1 for the gang
modifiers,
up.
floating here, floating there.
I
floating
know,
everywhere.
yeah, and I think the sheet does some stuff.
It's
for
adding an
me.
additional +2 for some reason, and it shouldn't.
It's because
like
I
giving you
added the
joke.
+2 because I didn't know that the
Oh.
system
Would
was going to
automatically
calculate
do
the
the
Joker.
Joker.
Got it. I understood. You're cheating.
Yeah.
Got it.
Never cheat.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
it was pure
Classic
accident.
Melissa.
Oh,
Oh my.
Oh,
oh,
Oh my.
Oh.
17.
17 to hit.
Okay.
Is that
how many
Um,
raises is that?
15 to hit. It should be a 15 to hit. You shouldn't have
Okay.
a +2 on it. Okay, so it's still
Well,
great
'cause
though. 15 is
the-
still phenomenal.
but +2 is my unarmed mark? Unarmed
Oh,
monk
okay. I
stuff?
apologize. I thought you added it in. I thought you said okay. So yeah, 17 is still good. Okay, so let me do a little calculation. He's already shaken. This is X tough. This is against his. So you're punching.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
But you're in blue glowy form.
Yeah, and he's capped, so it's
So he's
straight to
capped.
straight.
So it's still it's his X toughness, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So that's 8.
Yep.
So that means he's got 1 wound, 2 wound. That's 3 wounds he's taken on that. I will attempt to soak them. As he's got his
Okay.
own.
I still have
so
to hit
I'm gonna
damage. That was just a to hit.
Oh, my bad. I am an idiot. Never mind. That's definitely a hit. Hit with a raise. I thought that was damage.
No.
My bad.
So
I was getting so excited.
I don't know if it's going to do this. What does a raise do again for raise damage? Sorry, never mind. There's a button.
It's right there.
Push the,
Do it automatically for you. Oh, this is a good roll. Oh, this is a great roll. Oh, my gosh.
God.
That number's 29.
Okay.
I told you you had this.
That's a wild card.
That's insane. That's definitely going to kill him unless he soaks.
That's the Ray I wanted in turn 1. All right.
She's, it's like watching an action movie or like watching like a boxing match in a movie where they just like keep taking hits and keep taking hits. What?
It's only when she's on the ropes is when she. Okay.
I soak 1 wound. So what that basically means, I roll my soak. 7 is my roll. You hit a 29. So that's 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. It's still enough to take him out, even with the soak. Ray, describe how you do it.
So Ray just has been and just getting more and more like frustrated. And I feel like as a monk, she can kind of like channel that frustration. And so she's just trying to, see what Reese is doing. And because I feel like he was swinging, like with this big blade. And so he kind of opens up his midsection a bit. And so she really just sort of like does this very kind of like wind up punch that she just lands kind of right to the ribs and just like cracking right through.
That's beautiful. I love it. Okay. He falls. Bridge is taken. We cut to Birdie Miller and this other person who is trying to escape. Right as up by the bridge, here comes Corporal Handy and showing up. We're here. Right as you guys finish it off. And then Birdie back by you had thrown out an entanglement. And we see those like kind of those ice tendrils begin to like wrap around her.
Yeah.
She can't move. She can, however, take physical actions. Okay. And she got a joker. I'm going to attempt to say she was reaching for the door to smash the button. I am going to attempt to have her kind of sort of scrape the door down, like where you put your ice tendrils. So I'm going to see if I can, and then that's going to let her close the door. All right, so she's going to have a +2 on this because she also got a joker.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's give it a go. Okay, I'm going to show you what I rolled. I rolled a critical failure. Okay.
Oh gosh.
As she reaches out to scrape, like the door sort of shifts and you can see her hand gets caught in it, and then you just hear the sickening and she is effectively like kind of stuck and pinned inside the door as her hand is mangled. And she is in like intense pain.
Mm-hmm.
But even as like she's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're too late. You're too late. Birdie and Arushi, give me notice tests at -2. I think it's -2.
Okay.
Row.
-2. Yeah, I did bad.
Okay.
Give me a second.
Okay.
Minus.
You got a Benny now, though, in case you.
Oh, I do. I forgot that we got them back.
Yeah. You want to roll that?
Yeah.
Did you roll it? Go for it. So do you.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll
I clicked a
reroll mine
Rishi.
too.
Oh, but that's weird that it lets me do that.
Oh, weird. Can I reroll mine though?
Yeah. Why are you guys taking -2s?
I
Oh yeah,
don't
because I
know.
gave you a -2. I'm
You
like, why are you
just
taking
said
-2s
-2.
automatically? I was like, I'm like looking at it. I'm getting confused.
Let me click on mine. I got a 3.
Oh.
Okay.
There's a lot of
I
dice we
accidentally clicked on your thing. Give yourself a Benny back.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, I'll just do a straight reroll.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
It's
Good
weird that it let me
Christ.
click on yours on
Oh,
accident.
sorry. That is a without a -2. It's still
That's
fail.
fine.
So
Still felt.
yeah.
So
We're blind.
Birdie, you can see her face. Her hand is caught. It's literally mangled. And she is like laughing in pain, but also like you can tell that there is like a fanaticism to her. And she screams like, "You're too late." Birdie, you, as you're watching her, like you feel like yourself just suddenly like tilt and just sort of smack into the wall. And those of you up on the bridge, as you see these Corporal Handy and his crewmates show up, they got the guns, they're ready to get into the fight. And right as they're coming down the hall, Arushi just suddenly veers and smashes into the side of the wall of the hallway that connects from the stairwell to the bridge. And all we hear on like the comms is just, or at least in Birdie's face too, it's just, "You're too late. We already won." And we're going to go ahead and stop it there. And we'll pick up there
No.
But wait, what are we too late for?
next week.
It's so
I don't know.
good.
I really thought we were going to make it though.
So good.
Nobody- Too late, baby. No, it's too late. Really thought we were late.
Oh man.
Okay. Anyhow,
Something
okay.
inside
So there you go.
died that night.
Good news is,
Ah,
you guys get Benny's back at the start of the
That's
next
true.
session.
Thank goodness.
Bad news is the ship is falling, probably.
Ray has 3 wounds.
Collision.
there's a lot of bad news. I feel like there's a lot of bad news.
I need to get my
Okay.
PP powers back, you know.
Okay.
I
Isn't that
still
what
can't
Reese
believe
has?
that's what it's called.
It's PowerPoints.
Yeah, PP
It's not
gang.
PP powers. It's called PowerPoints. It's just abbreviated so you can see it on your sheet.
You're saying PowerPoint's powers.
ridiculous.
Long has changed that for me forever.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're gonna see. We'll pick up on it next week, and we'll see exactly what's going on. It's gonna be pretty fun. Let's go ahead and do some closing plugs, and then let's get on out of here. So, Stephen, if you would be so kind as to give my tray the floor, so she can tell us a little bit about what she does on the internet.
I love that joke, first of all. I am Multiplace Games on YouTube, where I make system agnostic or multi-system tabletop content that centers the GM and player experience that you should check out if you feel like checking that kind of thing out.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And links will be in the notes for everything. So if you're listening to this or watching this later, just check the description. You'll find everyone's links. Stephen, you may talk now and tell us what you do.
Yeah, I make tabletop RPGs, or RPG, only one right now. It's called Huckleberry. It's a Weird West game. It's a lot of fun. It's folk horror, like Hellboy meets Tombstone. We have a scenario that dropped last month, written by someone here on this screen right there. It's pretty awesome. And
Good job,
we've got
Mom.
another scenario dropping on Monday, like 2 days from now. So yeah, lots of exciting stuff. We got a whole bunch of stuff in the works. You should check it out. HuckleberryRPG.com.
Excellent. And as for us here on Adventures Lollygagging, next stream we've got is Monday, where you can see my Trey, Melissa, and myself playing through some Otherscape, a new Mythos cyberpunk game. Uses the Mist engine. And then Tuesday, you can see Melissa, myself, and other people. It's not just her and I. That would be weird. Playing through some Perils and Princesses. And then Thursday, Swords of the Serpentine. Next Friday, Stephen is going to be sitting where I'm sitting, like not literally in my chair, but like on the screen, as he's going to be GMing us through the Magnus Archives, as we're going to start our first session. We had our session 0 a couple weeks ago, and we are in Hamburg, and we are go. That's not going to be my voice. I'm gonna have to work on it a little bit. It's a little tougher. Hamburg, and then Saturday we will be back with more Han Cluster. We will see a thrilling conclusion to this reunification, because that'll be the last of this first arc, and I think we're going to do one more after this as well. Thank you to everyone who hung out. Tracy, thank you so much, especially for the corrections and all that wonderful stuff. We are going to go ahead and raid a Transplanar RPG. So follow the raid. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.